He just released a statement moments ago that I'm going to read to you. It says, "I'm heartbroken. He was one in a million, not only a brilliant comedian, but a loving human being. I cherish the times we had together, both on and off screen. He will be in my heart forever." She also described him as an on-set prankster and he even went on to have his own sitcom. His reps say he had been battling a long illness. Now Conway is survived by his wife and 7 children.
Yeah, Tim Conway, if I'm an improviser and if you know anything, he liked to play. He liked to get the other cast members to laugh, the Harveys, the Vicki Lawrences. He liked Carol to crack up. So he would do one rehearsal straight, and then on the night of, when it's live, he would play.
And you know what I loved about that when I used to watch the Carol Burnett show, or even old episodes now, is watching the co-stars trying so hard not to laugh.
So, check out this video we have. This is the famous dentist sketch they still show in dental schools. Take a look.
I'll just give you a little shot here. Yeah, I'll be right with you.
I know.
Timing.
I know.
So it's very sad, but what a playful, creative, inspired individual.
Absolutely. And 7 children. Wow.
Beautiful story.
Our thoughts and prayers with all of them. Well, Tiger Woods is being sued right now in a wrongful death lawsuit. The family of a man who died in a drunk driving accident says that Tiger Woods and his girlfriend should have stopped their son from drinking too much and driving. 24-year-old Nicholas Immensberger was a bartender at Tiger's Florida restaurant. And according to reports, he finished his shift at the restaurant at 3 p.m., but stayed at the bar drinking. He died later that day with a blood alcohol level 3 times the legal limit. The suit alleges that employees knew he struggled with alcohol, attended AA meetings, but still overserved him. Tiger today called the death of the employee sad and said it was a terrible ending at a press conference.
I did some research on this, and at first I was like, there's no way they should be held for wrongful death. If he himself was the bartender, pouring himself drinks after work, he got in the car, there's no way you can hold him responsible. Turns out there's a lot more to the story. Tiger Woods knew this gentleman and his girlfriend very well. They actually had drinks with him a few days before. They encouraged him to drink and to move on, is what the lawyer is saying. They're saying he not only was overserved that day, people said he shouldn't be leaving, someone said he should be cut off, they let him go in the car. There's a lot more negligence here that I'm reading about, and what they said, and the attorney is saying, is Woods didn't see it because of his own addiction.
So that's the thing, though. Is this wrongful death, or is this you're a crappy person and a crappy friend and a crappy employer?
If he overserved when the man was obviously intoxicated, he didn't serve himself, someone else served him, it's the bar's responsibility.
Well, we're getting to a slippery slope here, because if I know that you have diabetes and I give you key lime pie or I give you something with sugar in it, am I going to be held accountable? If you have a high cholesterol and I make you some fried potato skins, am I going to be held accountable?
She has a heart attack,
Come on. What you're missing is you're giving it, this is of omission. They should have stopped giving him that alcohol. Knowing you were overserved, knowing he had a car, that's your responsibility as a bartender to not do that to anybody.
No one poured the alcohol down his neck. No one made him drive that car. It's his life.
You were a bartender. Those were laws.
You're right. There are laws.
3 p.m. in the afternoon is wasted.
There are laws that you cannot overserve individuals. I know he was off the clock, so I'm not sure what
he was off the clock, but someone did serve him.
Right. I also know, listen, if someone that went to Al-Anon is kind of like a 12 steps program. Someone that went to Al-Anon, if you're dealing with someone else's addiction or your own addiction, you're only supposed to be responsible for yourself.
Yeah.
So you're never supposed to place the blame on anyone else. Somebody could offer me a drink and I have to be prepared to say no.
The problem is they should have stopped offering him the drink. That's where they got in trouble.
If he was an alcoholic,
it's their liability to stop the overdrinking.
But if he's an alcoholic, he can obviously obtain and just have a lot more alcohol than a normal person, so they might not have thought he was above the limit because he's so used to drinking. He could have appeared completely fine.
Apparently,
when you test his blood,
it's a sad
he
story.
Was very wasted.
It is a very, very tragic story. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. DBL is live. We'll bring you breaking news as soon as it happens. Coming up, our own Tori Schulman talks with Happy Days star Marion Ross. The classic TV legend reveals the cast member she didn't get along with for years. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. More and more high schools are ditching valedictorians because they say the tradition promotes unhealthy competition. So what do you think? Your comments next.
This Thursday on Daily Blast Live.
Team, on your mark, get set, go!
Our hosts are getting savage in the wild. for the ultimate camping competition.
We're gonna be in trouble.
Hosted by Amazing Race and Survivor star Corinne Kaplan.
Go! Challenge is on! This way.
Who will brave the elements?
Going right over there. Go over
And
there.
who will crash?
I feel miserable. I feel sick. I feel angry.
Don't miss Fully Clothed and Afraid. This Thursday on DBL.
Team. I am so excited for that camping piece. They went out there this past weekend. I heard it was really cold. Poor Tori was sick. It's going to be a great day Thursday because we've got a DBL special. Let's go to the desk and see what's going on. Hey guys, what's happening over here?
What's happening is I'm afraid for servers, bartenders, waitresses, waiters out there because we're seeing a rise in lawsuits of wrongful deaths where I feel like the bar is being blamed for someone else not being an adult.
I don't know if we're
You
necessarily
are an
seeing a rise
adult.
or if we're just seeing a rise of them in the news.
Okay, I'll take that.
But I'm on your side with these, Brandon and Steph's. I don't understand. They're not pouring the alcohol down his throat. Of course, Sam says there's laws, though.
There is.
There's
So Tori's
laws.
absolutely right. I don't know what happens when you're off the clock.
That's
I mean,
the thing.
obviously, it's crappy for a friend, an employee, an
course.
employer. It's horrible. You never want to surround. If you're an addict or you know your friend's an addict, you never want to, unless those people are addicts themselves.
Exactly.
That's where it
If
becomes
they're all
a
in on-
tricky situation
yeah,
So
where
here's what this is. You just pulled up a great point. This is from the lawyer.
an
Yeah.
addict can't
Quote,
police another addict.
You're right. Just like Woods ignored his own problem for years, he and his girlfriend chose to ignore this problem that their own employee had, and as a result, this tragedy ensued.
Here's my question: Is it Tiger Woods and his girlfriend's job to get this guy help because he's
Thank you.
their
But it's
employee?
their job not to serve an over-intoxicated
Were
human
they
being.
there? Were they there?
It doesn't matter. He's the regional
that's what I'm asking.
manager.
Yeah.
They're liable. That bar is liable for all of it.
crazy.
Now,
That's
what's
not
interesting
bad.
is whether or not it's on the clock or off the clock.
Well, I
because
read-
you're still on the premises,
Right,
so
but
I
the
get
pro-
where Tori's
right.
coming from.
But the thing is, when I read it, I thought he himself had served, and that's different. He was served alcohol at 3 p.m. off after
But back
at
to
the
Sam's
bar.
point, if
But
it's
we
an addict
also
serving
don't
another
know,
addict,
most addicts I know drink privately. So we also don't know if that addict was drinking the whole shift in the bathroom and then
Exactly.
sat down at the bar and was given one
already
drink.
drunk,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Unfortunately, and this is alleged, the people at the bar says he was visibly intoxicated, and people said, please stop serving him at the bar.
so why isn't it on the server then?
Especially if they said
Like,
stop.
why isn't it on the server that was serving him rather than the owner?
Because it all goes down to they have to teach it goes down to the bar.
the way it is.
But remember that bar.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. An Ohio high school is the latest to get rid of the valedictorian tradition at graduation. The superintendent says this is an attempt to improve the mental health of students after finding patterns of anxiety, depression, and suicide. Students will now be recognized with honors similar to college, which value individual performance in classes rather than class rank. So DBL Nation, should high schools eliminate the honor of valedictorian? Brandon.
It's absolutely crazy. So let's get to these comments. Nancy from Facebook says, kudos on efforts to support mental health. Why can't you have both a reward system that recognizes all student achievements and a special honor for the top student? I'm sorry, Nancy. I think this is absolutely ludicrous. We have CEOs, we have executive producers, we have someone who, the top selling entrepreneur that's out there. We have that for a reason. Competition is great. So just think, if you feel bad because you didn't get valedictorian and you're going to be upset about it, just think when you feel upset about not getting the job you want or not being able to rise and
You're
be
saying
the
it's
best in something.
preparation.
Absolutely. Get ready for some. Life is about heartaches and letdowns.
And
So
how
get
you
ready
handle
for some.
them.
Exactly.
However, that's not the school version I'd want to go. That's business, and I understand that, but we're talking
Where
about
do you teach these kids?
I understand
School.
that, but I think valedictorian could be on your resume, but perhaps we should pick someone of character.
Don't
or
teach me
community service.
algebra. Teach me how to get ready for life.
Well, let me
Thank
teach you how to respect your manners and let me go. Brenda from Facebook says, we shelter and coddle our children so much these days. This is the reason why they can't survive in the real world. Brenda, I really appreciate you guys writing in, and I understand that. But my school, Georgetown Day School, has famously gotten rid of valedictorians. You can put it on your resume, that's fine, but the person is voted on in a secret ballot for character, for public service, for going through so much. My sister also struggled through this, and at some point, I'd rather hear from her than someone who got 0.7 decimal points above the other person. So I would think I'd rather see someone who didn't just get to the top of the class give me an inspiring speech for the rest of my life.
All right.
Mike from Facebook says, we really should just eliminate all grading systems as long as you are doing your best. That's all that matters. Mike, I don't think we should eliminate all grading systems. I think they're there for a reason. It's to show how hard you worked, how much effort you put in, the time and dedication. But I would much rather hear from someone like Katie, Tori's sister, who studied for 7 years to graduate. Congratulations, Katie. Rather than someone who just got A stars in every single thing because they were maybe a bit brighter. It just doesn't inspire me at all.
I'm more with Brandon on this one. Listen, I'm always one for data, though. If data points out that there's more children that are more susceptible to be committing suicide, and they've closed down all the other variables, then I'm going to lean that way. But I think every single one of my failures, if I didn't make valedictorian, if I didn't make the swim team, if I didn't, get the job that I wanted, I taught myself how to dust my shoulders off, get back up, and put a smile on my face. And I think those hardships you learn very early on, including in high school.
But wouldn't you rather hear from someone who's failed at graduation, who's gone through something, who's really struggled? I'd rather hear that person.
Yeah,
me
and
both.
You're doing what you're supposed to do, Tori. You're supposed to work hard in life. You're supposed to work hard to strive for good grades. But if you rose above all the other competition there and you're at that top spot,
you should be recognized.
Give that person a donut, a high five, or a trophy or something.
But why can't they be recognized? Like, why can't somebody that worked their butt off? I think it also teaches your children to applaud and empower and uplift those that deserve it.
Exactly.
Instead
like
of feeling bad for yourself.
Rather than, I don't want to hear from someone who's just literally waltzed through life that maybe,
How do you know they waltzed through life, though? Maybe they became
valedictorian. If you're the valedictorian, you're going to have to be of incredible intelligence.
Or you worked your butt off. Or you worked your butt off. I think it totally depends on your lens, but it's interesting.
I say list it on your resume, but I'd rather be inspired by someone with different character.
Participation trophies for everyone.
I'm here.
Coming up on DBL, a sneak peek at the hot new reboot of Beverly Hills 90210. Also ahead, classic TV stars, where are they now? Happy Days, Marion Ross spills the tea on her castmates.
He apparently wanted somebody else for the part.
Ooh, so who's she talking about? Find out when we come back.
Stephanie, you want to come over here?
Instant
we are live. What's going on? Tori's getting ready for Classic with the Stars, Chatting with the Stars. Where are they now? So we obviously feel two different ways about this valedictorian thing, and maybe it's become from an athletic background to where it's like
a very different mindset.
You work your butt off. You put countless hours in, whether it's in the gym, the weight room, even in the classroom. And you work for a top spot. You're working for something to separate yourself from everyone else. You're now taking that away from that hard work. And you're like, you know what? I don't care if I have the best grades. I don't care if I win this race or win this Super Bowl anymore, because I'm just going to get applauded and everyone's going to be happy for me just because I tried. Which we should be teaching these children that trying is a prerequisite. Like, you should be trying. Don't get a pat on the back for trying. You're supposed to try.
I definitely think that's an athlete mentality, because as an athlete mentality, your job is to win that race. It is to come first, otherwise you maybe get dropped from the team. All those things that Brandon mentioned about are things that you can do yourself. They're all very physical things that you can get fast in the gym, you can beat your own time.
But you can get better at world history by taking it with a tutor.
You're never going to train your brain to be as clever as like someone who's naturally got that gift.
I get it.
So I mean, I think it's a different thing. I think I understand it in athletes, but in terms of actual degrees, I don't think it's right.
All right. Well, keep writing in, you guys.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk.
And congratulations to Katie, Tori's sister. She just graduated.
Congratulations.
Woo, 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 woo.
That.
Welcome back to DBL. When you think about classic TV moms, there is no doubt Mrs. C from Happy Days comes to mind. Marion Ross played that lovable character for 11 seasons. From there, she kept acting, taking on tons of roles until her recent retirement. Ross, who is now 90 years old, even wrote a book detailing the ups and downs of life in showbiz. I had the complete honor of sitting down with the iconic actress at the Hollywood Museum in Los Angeles in today's edition of Classic Stars. Where are they now? Yes. Hello, Marianne. Thank you for being here. Thank you for
Well, I
taking the time.
raised you all,
Yes.
didn't I? Yeah.
Yes, you did. Now, you were the TV mom everyone wanted, Mrs. C. How does it feel that you had such a big impact on so many people?
I'm so used to it now. It feels very natural.
Now, you recently wrote a book about your life. You're very candid in the book because it's you just being real. You actually said you didn't first get along with Tom Bosley right away.
No, Tom didn't like me, and he apparently wanted somebody else for the part. I just had to bite the bullet and just put up with it. And that went on for years.
Wow. Happy Days was initially supposed to be centered around Ron Howard's character, Richie, but Fonzie became the center of the show. Was there friction or jealousy when that switch happened, or no?
Both of them were very intelligent, well-educated, smart, and they handled it like gentlemen.
Sorry to take the room down a little bit, but Erin Moran, I want to just bring up really quickly your dear co-star of Happy Days who died of cancer in 2017.
Yeah.
What was Erin like, and what was like to say goodbye to her?
So cute, talented, and it's a tragedy.
You've worked with some of the greats, let's be honest. We've had Audrey Hepburn, Cary Grant, Clark Gable. So I'm gonna show you a couple of photos. First up, we're gonna do this one. Now this is the Lone Ranger.
Oh, it is the
from
Lone Ranger.
1954. So tell me about that. Do you remember
Yeah,
this?
my line was, who was that masked man?
Bravo! Bravo! That's amazing.
And I never got to thank him.
I'm gonna show you this one. Ready? Tell me about this. This is Perry Mason, 1959.
You can see what a serious young actress I was.
Yes. You've just retired, am I right?
Yes.
Okay, you're how old?
Of 90.
Look at this, everybody. This is incredible.
Yeah.
Now, you've worked on so many things that each generation knows you for something differently, right? What inspired you to keep working until almost 90 years old?
Oh, because I am an actress.
Yeah.
I don't get jealous anymore, but I used to be able to look at somebody else doing something and just die.
Me. That's me.
That's
me.
Die.
I know that
I
feeling.
want to do it.
So there was a competitive drive.
Very competitive.
Wow. When people are in our DBL Nation have doubts about themselves and they're in a down period, is there any good maternal advice you'd want to give us?
Hope, and you can be anything.
You're my kind of gal. Mrs. C, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you. I had a good time.
It was so good. She is adorable. Marion Ross's book, My Days, Happy and Otherwise, is available now. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration.
Welcome back to the DBL Stream Team. I'm Leo here with Stu to talk about HBO's Veep this week. Oh my goodness, y'all. This is a political comedy on HBO where you can stream on HBO Go, HBO Now. And it's been running for 7 seasons. And honestly, I'm just now getting into it, but Stu here has been on it since day one.
Yeah, so I've been on it from the start. It's from Scottish writer Armando Iannucci, which is a weird Scottish name. But basically he is, it's a fast, crass, like inside look into American politics. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is the main character. You know her from Seinfeld.
Yes.
It's fast, it's funny, it's one of my favorite shows, and I definitely check in every Sunday. Now, I will say, season finale is coming up. This is the last season. So if you haven't seen it, start from the beginning. Enjoy the whole thing. It's only half-hour episodes. Super easy.
And it's incredibly funny, man. I mean, this episode was the first episode I actually dived into this series, and I could easily follow this series pretty cohesively without having to go back to the first episode. You know, some context was a little unclear, but everything was very funny, light, it rolled quickly. I mean, I was really enjoying myself for not having watched 6 more seasons.
The cool thing, too, is it kind of mirrors our political landscape. So a lot of things they're talking about now is it's kind of like mirroring Trump, but not mentioning his name ever. And in past seasons, they kind of do that with other political people as well. So you kind of get the feeling that you're up on current events, which is nice.
Yeah, and this episode focused specifically on their presidential race, am I right?
Yes, and that's almost every season. So in a weird way, you get this deja vu, but also it's always fresh and new. Different characters are doing different things, But it also, again, kind of mirrors American politics. It's
That's
the same
awesome.
people every year
Yeah.
doing the same thing. So it's a lot of fun. The cool thing is it's joke-driven and
Oh,
character-driven.
that's so great.
As opposed to plot-driven.
Yeah.
So like if you miss an episode, you
It's
might
not a
miss-
big one.
Yeah, you might not get a joke the same way, but it's always funny. It's always enjoyable.
Yeah, and also coming up, guys, on Hulu, they're getting Broad City, the very last season that just aired on Comedy Central. And Netflix is also getting Lucifer, which is coming off of Fox and going to be produced by Netflix originally. But this is all we have for this time, guys. We'll see you next time on the DBL Stream Team.
Today's watch and win word is sunscreen.
Welcome back to DBL. The cast of 90210 is back. Check out this new teaser. Yeah! I can't wait.
She is loving life. She's like clicking, dancing.
It just reminds me of 16-year-old Sam in her bedroom watching 90210, and I get to see them again.
I get to see this 16-year-old Sam right now. I love
August 7th, it premieres, everybody. I'm counting down the days. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow.
Kelly Schubert with the DBL Digital team. I'm tracking all the breaking and trending news, but I did want to give you a story that we were covering in the 10:30 show. It didn't make it into the last show, but I wanted to tell you about it. So a California couple was actually just awarded $2 billion in damages after a jury determined that Roundup weed killer actually caused their non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So both of them had that cancer, had that disease, excuse me. And in the past recent years, 3 other lawsuits have happened, and they've also been a lot of money in damages. So law experts right now are saying that the amount of damages may go down because the company is actually appealing the ruling. But I want to know what you think about this. A lot of people are saying $2 billion is a lot of money. Again, that could be reduced. But what do you think? I mean, if this weed killer actually caused their cancer and the jury has determined that in many of these cases, we've got a problem here. It is important to note that the company says there is no link between their product, the Roundup weed killer, and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So it's important to say that. They are appealing that ruling now, but I just wanted to update you, and I want to know what you think. So please write in and give us your DBL take. We've got a great show coming up, and don't forget Thursday, we've got that awesome camping piece coming up as well. So see you soon. Bye, guys.
Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You think this hair just naturally stays like this?
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
Yes.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. I was going to say Daily Blast Live, and I thought, let's abbreviate it. DBL. It's Tuesday, May 14th. We are live, and we are talking about what you're talking about right now. I'm here with Erica, Jeff, Al, and I'm Sam. Let's get started. We are getting our first glimpse at the Beverly Hills 90210 reboot in a new teaser trailer, and there's a familiar tune that's giving everyone the feels. Plus, our own Tori Shulman talks with Happy Days star Marion Ross. The classic TV legend gets candid about the cast members she didn't get along with for years. All of that in minutes. But first, we do begin with some serious news. New video of an officer-involved shooting last night in Texas is going viral. An unidentified Houston police officer shot and killed a 44-year-old woman who claimed she was pregnant. This followed an altercation with the officer after he tried to arrest her. The whole thing was caught on a cell phone camera. And a warning to our viewers, we have edited the graphic video, but you will hear the gunshots. For more on this story, we're joined by reporter David Gonzalez from our sister station, KHOU in Houston, Texas. He is live on the scene. David, what's the latest?
Hey, Sam. Yeah, this investigation is taking place about 30 miles east of Houston, and you've seen that now viral video of that shooting, and we're actually on location. You can actually see some of those markers as to where that shooting took place. Talking to police, they say that the woman, the police officer, tried to make a stop after recognizing the woman who had warrants out for her arrest. He tried to make a stop, and then some kind of interaction or altercation took place. That's when the officer tried to stop her. They got into that scuffle, and he actually ended up firing his taser at her. She got a hold of the taser, according to police, and fired back. And that's when police officers, as you saw in that video, pulled out his gun and actually shot and killed that woman out here in this apartment complex.
An officer involved. Can you fill us in?
What was that? Could you repeat that one more time? I'm sorry.
Yes. What do we know about the woman and the officer involved?
As far as that woman, she is being identified as 44-year-old Pamela Turner, who lived here on the complex. And I've talked to some people out here who say that she was actually walking by, going toward her apartment when that officer made contact. As far as that officer, all we know right now is that he's an 11-year veteran of the Baytown Police Department. That woman, we spoke to a few of her family members. The big question right now regarding all of this is that in that video, she says, "I'm pregnant." That, of course, is the big question right now because, of course, that led to the officer-involved shooting right after she said those words. Police tell me that they are trying to confirm if she was pregnant or not. We did talk to some family members out here who say that she was actually not pregnant, but she did suffer from mental illness. And talking to a few people out here, they say the same thing, that she did suffer from a mental illness, but as far as a person, that she was a very friendly person that got along with everyone in this community.
Thank you, David Gonzalez. Thank you. Just to echo David's thoughts from the family members that have since spoken out, and we cannot confirm this, but according to them, that she was suffering from schizophrenia, and they believe she was off her medication. But what do you make of this, Jeff?
I'm probably, I definitely want to hear from you guys here, but, I watch a lot of those body cam shows now with police departments that are on TV, and I really respect what the police officers go through day in and day out. I don't know what someone's agenda is when they're reaching for an officer's taser when they're trying to detain them. If I was an officer and I had my family to go home to, and it was me or you, I don't know that I would not have done what he did. Maybe a little aggressive, maybe a little excessive. There definitely could have been another way to handle this, but we have to look at this from the perspective of he's defending himself. Why isn't she complying? Maybe it's the mental illness. I get that she's pregnant. I have a heart. I'm not totally heartless, but it's, you have to defend yourself as an officer.
Before I get Erica and Alan, I also want to say, according to eyewitnesses, they did not see her reach for a taser. I'm not saying that's accurate or not accurate.
He said that she fired at him with the taser.
That's according to the police. That's their narrative, and I'm not saying that that is a wrong narrative. But according to eyewitnesses and according to that video, you do not see her go for the taser.
Okay.
We don't know.
I'm going off of what he told me.
You're going off the police narrative.
Yes.
We don't know all the details.
Right, and Jeff, you said it right. I mean, we always we have is the video. I did read up on this. I heard that they've had interactions before. So he's familiar with this
The
woman.
sister claims he lives in that same apartment building.
Right.
Again, we don't know if that's true.
Right, and I look at this. I mean, I look at a woman being shot on the ground. Obviously, I thought about this too as somebody that wants to go home to his family every night. I understand that once you reach for the taser, it might put you in a different mind state. But I look at the interaction that they had, and then I looked at how that ended, and I thought about party schools and colleges. Think about the drunkenness that happens at Arizona State, Florida State. All these schools are people are drinking out of kegs, drinking out of fish bowls. You're telling me that no 20-year-old young white women get that out of control, where they end up wrestling with officers, end up trying to run, things like that? How come we're not reporting on stories like that every week? Because those kids are drunk every second of every day. So the fact that we don't see that, but we only see it with one group of people, is alarming to me, but unfortunately it's not surprising, Erica.
You know, I immediately thought about, there was this viral clip that went around, and it showed a young white child defending his black friend against a white police officer. And the way that the police officer engaged with the white child versus the black child, although they were seemingly doing the same things. And it automatically made me think, I went to high school with a young lady. She suffers from some mental illness. Very similar situation. This video of her went viral 2 years ago, where she was physically on the ground, and clearly she's trying to defend herself, but she's also not doing and complying with what the police officers are telling her to do and comply with. And my first question was, what would I be doing if I was on the ground being beat by a baton? Would I be trying to cover myself, or would I be trying to do what I'm being told to do in a very heightened situation? And on top of that, mental illness was involved. I think what it really comes down to is when police officers are patrolling communities, I think it's important that they understand who the community members are and see them as an equal person, because if it is true that he knew this person and this somehow became out of control in this way, I would be alarmed by that.
Right.
Because it would make me think that other people who are suffering from similar ailments wouldn't have the protections that they truly do deserve. That's the reason why we have hospitals and mental health facilities and talk about mental health issues.
Right. No, we need to find out more details, that's for sure. And we will definitely keep our viewers up to date when we get those details. Breaking news from Hollywood about the death of a well-known comedian. Raquel Villanueva has the news at the moment.
Well, Sam, Tim Conaway has passed away this morning at the age of 85. He's best known for his work on The Carol Burnett Show, and she described him as an on-set prankster and just released a statement saying, "I'm heartbroken. He was one in a million, not only as a brilliant comedian, but as a loving human being. I cherish the times we had together, both on the screen and off, and he'll be in my heart forever." He even went on to have his own sitcom, and his reps say he had been battling a long illness. Conway's survived by his wife and 7 children.
Very sad news, Raquel. Wow, 7 children. Our thoughts and prayers are with them. DBL is live, and we'll bring you breaking news as soon as it happens. Coming up, Nike is being slammed over its alleged bias against pregnant athletes. Do expectant moms have it tougher? Then our own Tori Shulman talks with Happy Days star Marion Ross. The classic TV legend reveals the cast members she did not get along with for years. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. More and more high schools are ditching valedictorians because they say the tradition promotes unhealthy competition. So what do you think? Your comments coming up next.
This Thursday on Daily Blast Live.
Team, on your mark, get set, go!
Our hosts are getting savage in the wild for the ultimate camping competition.
We're gonna be in trouble.
Hosted by Amazing Race and Survivor star Corinne Kaplan.
Go! Challenge on! This way, this way.
Who will brave the elements?
We're going right over there, go over
and
there.
who will crash?
I feel miserable, I feel sick, I feel angry.
Don't miss Fully Clothed and Afraid. This Thursday on DBL.
Hi guys, Kelly Schuberth here with the DBL Digital Team. Happy Tuesday, DBL Nation. I am so excited for that camping trip extravaganza that's airing on Thursday. It's gonna be really exciting. It was very, very cold, and I heard it was intense. I'm still rooting for the girls, but let me know who you're rooting for and let me know who you think is going to win. Let's go up to the table because I think they're still talking about this shooting. Hey guys, are you still discussing the shooting? Yeah, let's keep talking about this.
Because what about the counterpoint to that? If someone that you know is unstable gets a hold of your taser, are you then more scared than you would be?
That's a great question. Again, we are all Monday morning quarterbacking. Unfortunately,
without every single detail.
But unfortunately, there is this history in our country of police brutality against a very specific group of people.
Definitely.
People of color. So there's reason why she's going to be experiencing, let's say all things being equal, she doesn't even have a mental illness. She's going to be experiencing a lot more fear than if I were to be arrested, because I don't have to fear for my life. So who knows
we've been doing
what's...
this show for how long? It's like, how many stories have we done where a white woman has been shot by a police officer on the ground?
I can't even tell you one.
Yes, because it's not a thing.
Yeah.
And so we have to be honest about it, especially if you want to bring math into it. What are black people, maybe 14% of the population? For it to be such an overwhelming amount of over-policing and use of force, I think that's what I'm talking about. When I talked about colleges and I see the unruly behavior of somebody that's been on college campuses as adults, like, it's wildness. Think about what goes on when the University of Kentucky wins the national championship.
I mean, what would happen if there's a bar
hanging
fight?
from light posts
I know.
and falling through, awnings. Like, you're telling me all those people comply with directives when they're told to stand up and go home or pull their pants up or stop peeing in the bushes? I doubt that.
We're also hearing two totally different stories. The eyewitnesses are saying she never grabbed the taser, she went for his foot.
Right.
And then you're hearing the police narrative saying that she grabbed his taser and used it against him. Unfortunately, that video you can't tell. So I pray that we can see some body cam footage. I pray, because I think that'll provide more context.
And I thought that's what the body cam...
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Fifth Host, when we talk about what you're talking about. An Ohio high school is the latest to get rid of the valedictorian tradition at graduation. The superintendent says this is an attempt to improve the mental health of students after finding patterns of anxiety, depression, and suicide. Students will now be recognized with honors, similar to college, which will value individual performance in classes rather than class rank. So DBL Nation, should high schools eliminate the honor of valedictorian?
All right, Sam, let's do this. Jerry from Facebook says it's easy to graduate valedictorian if you don't do anything except go to school. However, my kids worked and were involved in extracurricular activities. It was much harder for them to get straight A's. Gary, this is a tough one, but I don't think so. Honestly, I think valedictorian is for somebody that earned it. And I mean, if you got the grades and you were the best, you should be recognized for that, because a lot of people, including your kids, if they needed that, valedictorian stands out on a resume. And when you're sending off to colleges, we've seen how desperate people are to get their kids into school. If you can put the V word on your application, you have a much better chance of getting in, and they deserve that honor.
Amen.
Paul from Facebook says the idea of giving everyone a trophy is wrong. People will try harder with real goals instead of meaningless gifts for doing what's expected of them. Paul, are you my father? That sounds like something my dad Roosevelt would say. I think that valedictorian and honors like that are the reason why kids should have incentives to succeed. I think this is a very healthy competition. And if it's about anxiety and depression and all of those things, guess what? When you actually have some achievements and more to lose, you're not going to be able to deal with the life lessons brought to you by healthy competition. And anxiety and depression are all those things that you have to try to figure out a way to battle through. And a part of that is just being a participant in the game called life.
Love it. Jacob from Facebook says, just because you are valedictorian or salutatorian does not make you a good person. Some people even cheat in order to make it. That's a lot of cheating, 4 years to be the best in the school. I don't know about that comment, Jacob, but I respect it. My thing is, I've said it from the beginning of the show, and I'll say it till the end of my life. Every single time I failed huge in my life was a milestone for me to rise above. And I've done it my whole life. And if you can't give somebody awards for being successful, what am I striving for? What am I pushing for? You got to take away Athlete of the Year. You have to take away every #1 trophy from everybody. People are jealous of athletes, vice versa. I respected everyone who is way smarter than me. They should definitely get an award for all their hard work that they put in for 4 years, and it definitely means something later on in life. I don't understand.
No, I agree with you. I wish I could have an opposing opinion for you all, but not only do I think it teaches you how to overcome adversity, which makes you so much more well prepared for the real world, but I think it teaches you how to empower and uplift your friends who are succeeding. You don't always have to be #1. You'll get your time to shine.
Right.
So if you got valedictorian, I would hope that I would have the love and the appreciation and the respect to applaud you and be proud of you instead of somehow make it all about me and be like, why didn't I get it?
What about in the real world if somebody got salesperson of the year?
Employee of the month.
Right.
Rise together.
I want that parking space, Jeff.
But thank you for writing in. We love hearing what you guys have to say. Coming up on DBL, are you getting married? What about your daughter or granddaughter? We'll tell you 3 ways you can get the most bang for your buck. And classic TV stars, where are they now? Happy Days, Marion Ross spills the tea on her castmates.
He apparently wanted somebody else for the part.
Ooh, who's she talking about? Find out when we come back.
Happy to say you won the Sandals Dream Vacation.
DBL Nation, this could be you. This May, Daily Blast Live is giving away another Sandals luxury included vacation. Just watch DBL every day for the word of the day. Then go to dailyblastlive.com/sandals to enter. The winner will be announced May 22nd. The next Sandals vacation winner could be you.
Hello, DBL Nation, and welcome to The Breaks, where we bring you guys the latest trending stories around the web. Took some notes on my phone today. As you can see, I have the Notes app open, and I didn't have a notepad, so I had to scribble things down on here today. But this is coming out of CNN. NASA is planning on sending the first woman ever and first men in nearly 5 decades to the moon by 2024. So yes, we're going to be walking the moon again. The last time we actually went to the moon, somebody was walking on the moon, was 1972. So it's been a long time, but there's never been a woman, y'all. I mean, all this time, there hasn't been one woman that has stepped foot on the moon. Sharon, like you were saying, almost a couple times, but it hasn't happened. And the new communications director for NASA said under his administration, they're restoring NASA to greatness and going back to the moon, then Mars. So more space exploration, everybody, is happening. He tweeted that out a little bit earlier today.
Would you go to the moon?
I would love to go to the moon.
You would go to the moon?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah?
I want to go to the moon.
I don't know that I would go.
But I'll be honest here. I would go to the moon if I could breathe in space. You know what I mean? And if we could have like artificial gravity and stuff like that. But guys, this is huge. I mean, Elon Musk announced a little bit earlier last year that there was going to be some kind of space hotel in the sky. So it seems like things are just big with space right now, and we're expanding in space, expanding our exploration. Would love to see some more footage on the moon that's recent of man walking on the moon. Like, how cool would it be to have a body cam up there and to be walking around and getting all these shots of being in the air? Guys, let us know what you think about the story, and DBL Nation, we will see you next break.
Sorry.
And clear.
Welcome back to DBL. When you think about classic TV moms, there is no doubt Mrs. C from Happy Days comes to mind. Marion Ross played that lovable character for 11 seasons. From there, she kept acting, taking on tons of roles until her recent retirement. Ross, who is now 90 years old, even wrote a book detailing the ups and downs of life in showbiz. I had the complete honor of sitting down with the iconic actress at the Hollywood Museum in Los Angeles in today's edition of Classic Stars, Where Are They Now?
We are here with the one, the only mom, Marion Ross. Hello, Marion.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for
Well,
taking
I
the time.
raised you all,
Yes.
didn't I? Yeah.
Yes, you did. Now, you were the TV mom everyone wanted, Mrs. C. How does it feel that you had such a big impact on so many people?
I'm so used to it now. It feels very natural.
Now, you recently wrote a book about your life. You're very candid in the book because it's you just being real. You actually said you didn't first get along with Tom Bosley right away.
No, Tom didn't like me, and he apparently wanted somebody else for the part. I just had to bite the bullet and just put up with it. And that went on for years.
Wow. Happy Days was initially supposed to be centered around Ron Howard's character, Richie, but Fonzie became the center of the show. Was there friction or jealousy when that switch happened, or no?
Both of them were very intelligent, well-educated, smart, and they handled it like gentlemen.
Sorry to take the room down a little bit, but Erin Moran, I want to just bring up really quickly your dear co-star of Happy Days who died of cancer in 2017.
Yeah.
What was Erin like, and what was like to say goodbye to her?
So cute, talented, and it's a tragedy.
You've worked with some of the greats, let's be honest. We've had Audrey Hepburn, Cary Grant, Clark Gable. So I'm going to show you a couple photos. First up, we're going to do this one. Now, this is the Lone Ranger.
Oh, it is the
from
Lone Ranger.
1954. So tell me about that. Do you remember
Yeah,
this?
my line was, who was that masked man?
Bravo! Bravo! That's amazing.
And I never got to thank him.
I'm going to show you this one. Ready? Tell me about this. This is Perry Mason, 1959.
You can see what a serious young actress I was.
Yes. You've just retired, am I right?
Yes.
Okay. You're how old?
Oh, 90.
Look at this, everybody. This is incredible.
Yeah.
Now, you've worked on so many things that each generation knows you for something differently, right? What inspired you to keep working until almost 90 years old?
Oh, because I am an actress.
Yeah.
I don't get jealous anymore, but I used to be able to look at somebody else doing something and just die.
That's me. That's me.
Die.
I know that's
I
feeling.
want to do it.
So there was a competitive drive.
Very competitive.
Wow. When people are in our DBL Nation have doubts about themselves and they're in a down period, is there any good maternal advice you'd want to give us?
Hope, and you can be anything.
You're my kind of gal. Mrs. C, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you. I had a good time.
It was so good. She is adorable. Marion Ross's book, My Days, Happy and Otherwise, is available now. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is
Ooh, what's going on? Oh, who's that looking good in blue? Who's that looking good in blue? I got my Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber suit on today. What's going on, everybody? Brandon London. It's your commercial break with B. We're going to go back to the fifth host, revisit the fifth host. You all have been writing in. Should schools take away valedictorian? I personally think it's absolutely stupid that this is going on, or we are even talking about this, but let's hear from you all. Let's go with Veronica from Facebook saying, high school in general was very taxing on my daughter's mental health in many ways. I don't think eliminating valedictorian is going to change that. School is tough in general. Agreed. Renee from Facebook says, what is with our society's obsession with competition? There are other values that matter too, like honesty, dependability, kindness, etc., etc. Well, you know, I'm going to answer both of those. Veronica, yes, high school is very tough on the kids. I thought it was tough on me in general because I wasn't interested in standardized learning. I wasn't interested in geometries or anything. I love home ec. I love obviously recess, gym class, all my sporting stuff. I was drawn to those sort of things. It was very tough to me to try and make my grade. That's why I had to go to a prep school to be eligible to play college football. That was very stressful. And for other kids, you know, they're going through what they're going through as well. But for Renee saying our society's obsession with competition is what drives society. Like, if you're not I feel as though if you're not competitive, you're going to get left in the weeds when it comes to this life, this world. But let's continue to go on with more and more comments. Nance says high school is still a codding environment. Its only real purpose is to help our kids get into colleges, which are challenges like valedictorian, which is where challenges like valedictorian really matter. Exactly. Jobs. You want to be a CEO? That's the top of the company. You got to compete. You're going to compete against other CEOs, other companies. because you as a CEO have employees. If your business is not booming, then your employees ultimately have to go on and become unemployed or have to go find another job. Competition is everything. Sandra says if my son's high school were to do this, I'd pull him and put him in a private school. We need to teach our kids that they need to compete with peers to get the best out of life. And everyone always thinks this competition thing is for the sharks. It's not. I played professional football. I was on a team with Heisman Trophy winners, Super Bowl champions, NFL MVPs. So that competition and trying to beat a guy out for a spot to be on a team ultimately made me into the man who I am today, because I want to work hard. I want to be the best DBL host there is, but at the same time, you're thinking about it. As you strengthen yourself, you become better. You make your other hosts better. You make your other employees better, that sort of thing. So just think of competition as something that helps the team and not an individual thing. That's your commercial break with Brandon London. Close out.
Today's watch and win word is sunscreen.
Welcome back to DBL. Today's Heart Threads is all about community. Watch how a boy took matters into his own hands when it came to potholes in his neighborhood.
This 12-year-old isn't waiting on anyone to fix his street. After Monty Scott's mom damaged her car on a pothole, he decided to do something about it. He took dirt from his family's backyard and filled in potholes on his street.
I didn't want people messing up their cars like my mom did.
Monty didn't tell anyone about his good deed, but someone captured it on video and posted it on social media. That's how Monty's mom found out.
That's just the type of kid he is. When he sees there's a problem or a need and he thinks he can fix it, he'll try to fix it.
Monty has filled in 15 potholes on his street, and he doesn't plan on stopping.
A lot of keep doing it to keep helping the community out.
Way to go, Monty. If you're leaving us right now, you can still watch us live on Facebook and YouTube. Here's what's coming up next on Daily Blast Live.
Nike's motto may be dream crazier, but try telling that to a pregnant athlete. The new article that slams Nike over its alleged treatment of expectant moms. Then, back to Beverly Hills. We've got a sneak peek ahead of the highly anticipated 90210 reboot. And flat earthers, anti-vaxxers, climate change deniers? What's next? Is there a war on science in America? DBL explores the issue when we come back.
So T.I. and Tiny, Friends and Family Hustle, is all about handling fame and balancing life with your loved ones. And we caught up with Toya Wright and her daughter, Reginae Carter, to talk about this new season. And here's what you can expect.
Okay. Hi, Raquel. I can honestly say yes to that. I've done reality shows in the past, and I would say that this one is totally different because, this show it focused on building families up. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I admire about the production company and the whole show, the cast and everything. We have something going on. It's like things that are really going on in our lives, and we're always there for each other, and it's just a positive show all around. So make sure you tune in and watch it and see, the crazy times we have, the fun times, the sad times. This season is kind of like an emotional roller coaster, I will say that. I think you can connect to the show because it's a real family show, something that you can all relate to. I'm sure if you can't relate to me, you can relate to something T.I. and Tiny may be going through, something Monica may be going through, something LaToya may be going through. The teens can relate to Reginae, Zanique, Damani, Deja, you know. I feel like it's somebody on that show that you will identify with, and it can inspire and help you get through your situation. You know, it's a really, really good family TV show, and I think it was much needed. We would like to add, make sure you locked in to VH1 on Monday nights. The Family Hustle will be in your house. We're back. Season 2, so tune in.
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. We are live, and we're talking about what you're talking about right now, so let's get started. Well, at the moment, Olympic runner Alicia Montano is making a big statement in a piece for the New York Times. She's calling out Nike for their policies on female athletes, specifically moms. But why Nike? Well, Alicia is sponsored, or was sponsored by the company, until she got pregnant. She says they were going to pause her contract until she gets back to running, so she left Nike. And on top of that, the U.S. Olympic Committee told her they would take away her health insurance if she didn't stay at the top of her game. So she ran a race 8 months pregnant in 2014, but that's not all. Watch.
I taped my abs together because they were torn apart. I wore a brace as I'd go and I'd lift to come back within their time frame that they were expected of me. They weren't sure if I was going to be able to return after my pregnancy. I proved them wrong. I won a national championships at 6 months postpartum. I won another national championship at 10 months postpartum while still nursing my baby girl.
Wow, she's amazing. And the New York Times reports that in a Nike contract shared with them, it says, quote, the company has the right to reduce an athlete's pay for any reason if they don't meet a specific performance threshold. And they report there are no exceptions for pregnancy. So we have a lot to say about this, but we do want to hear from our DBL Nation. Do you think women are penalized for having kids? Head to DBLvote.com, weigh in. Erica, what do you think about this?
Now, Sam, you're the mom at the table. What do you think about this?
I'm horrified for her. I'm absolutely, as a business standpoint, fine, Nike. You can say all that, say what you want. Look at what you made her do. The fact that she ran at 8 months pregnant, the fact that she was taping her abs together, because newsflash, when you have a baby, your abs separate. The fact that she was running races while still nursing her child is horrific to me. And for Nike, a company that really sells their brand as inclusivity, girl power, doing this, doing that, to make sure that they empower athletes, talk about the opposite of what your brand mission is, Erica.
Yeah. Well, you also don't consider the fact that when you are in that type of shape and that lean, it also messes with your hormone levels as well as a female. So for her to be breastfeeding is miraculous. I think that we need to be a little bit more fair to ourselves and to our community about how woke we've been and for how long. This was in 2014. A lot of us were complicit in this, and we weren't like going on television saying how outrageous it is that a mother who is an athlete would have to do all of these things in order to keep her family afloat.
Her health insurance.
But we were all complicit. Everyone wants to act like they were so woke all this time. All of these things that we talk about at this table, we're talking about them now, and people enjoy listening to us talk about it and chiming in on the conversation because we've just hit the safety zone. So this woman who was completely unsupported before has chosen to come out and say, this is what it's like. And probably because people like Serena Williams have opened up the door to say that it's safe, that you're not going to be chastised and you can't lose your job.
But it's not just them, Erica. You said it on the show, I don't know, a few days ago. You said that, you know, if you decide to have children, that's another thing, but you wanted to wait till you had all your ducks in a row. Why? Because you were afraid that you wouldn't be able to have both of them?
Well, no, I knew I wasn't going to be able to have both of them. I hid my first engagement because I knew that they weren't going to give me the job if they knew that I was engaged. Wow. I mean, the idea, I would go into what Tupac says, but having a race of babies that hate the ladies who make the babies, yeah, that's where we at.
Yeah. See, I look at this and I just go, look at what Nike missed. I mean, what the population is, 51% female, correct? I would say most women will have a baby in their lifetime. Nike could have not only paid this woman's contract, but elevated her, given her the biggest platform. Like, hey, are you a woman that wants to stay in shape during your pregnancy? Follow her every day on Instagram. Here's what she's doing.
They could have thought outside the box.
She could have been, I swear, as big as Serena. I know not it doesn't seem like that, but more women can identify with a woman trying to keep her gig and being pregnant and trying to stay in some shape, and they just completely dropped the ball.
And how about, Jeff, investing in your athletes? Just like you want to invest in our country when we talk about mandated family leave. If you invest in your athlete and say, don't worry, we'll help you with medical care, we won't cut off your health insurance, then you're going to have an athlete that much more driven to get back there and that much more mentally sound because they're not trying to juggle pregnancy and running races.
Well, they got to adjust something in there. And before I say something, Alicia, you're straight up G. Not only an amazing woman, but an amazing person and athlete. I mean, I don't know how I didn't know about this. A pregnant woman running at 8 months pregnant in a race. I don't know how this didn't make national news. Given that, okay, I agree she should have never lost her health insurance. That's crazy. But talk to an athlete that's sponsored by any one of these companies, Reebok, Adidas, Nike. When they blow out their knee, where's that company? Where is it? They're gone. You don't perform for that company, they don't need you anymore. You're a commodity towards them. It's a business that they're running, and they don't care about you anymore. That's true. Pregnancy is a little different. I'm going to definitely admit that. But any athlete that's sponsored by any of these companies, once you can't perform or do your job that you're getting paid to do,
but that's the problem, and I hear where you're coming from. People think that when you have a baby that you're written off, just like an injury. Like if you blow your knee, you're done, you're gone. Just because you have a baby doesn't mean that you can't. Look at Serena Williams, look at her. It doesn't mean that you can't get yourself back right into action and be better than you were before. And I think that's where the narrative needs to change. We can't see pregnancy as an end-all be-all.
But you say yourself what it does to your body.
Yeah.
Is like getting in a car accident.
Totally.
So it is, in a sense, to a business. I'm not saying me, because I know what my wife went through.
Like Serena
I know what women went through. So I'm not knocking pregnancy at all. I'm saying as a business leader, you're saying this woman just got in a car crash by giving birth.
But you can get back to it.
Of
Your
course,
abs go back.
And that's where my point comes in. They could have watched her
but
rehab.
Losing their insurance, now that's just
it's
a straight
gross.
up.
It's
That's
so
just
gross.
straight up.
I know.
You know the word.
And
I'm
that's Prince money.
Let's see. Well, look how they treat some of their employees, right, overseas. We've all heard those stories. Let's see right here what our DBL Nation, 65% of you say yes. Do you think women are penalized for having kids? So there it is. You all can relate, right? Depending on what your profession is. The cast of 90210 is back. Check out this new teaser. Now, I know you love 90210. You used to hold 90210 parties in your dorm room.
Oh, yeah. And every time that would come on, I would clap.
Yeah.
But what was that?
I think that was the clap. Oh, da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na. Yeah.
I don't know if you nailed it, but I got it. They changed us to BH 90210.
They're trying to make it different.
What?
What? Remember like when Planet Hollywood in Vegas, or not Planet Hollywood, Treasure Island in Vegas became TI?
Yes, they
it's
tried to hip it up a
rebranding.
little.
It's rebranding.
I mean, I've never seen an episode, but I trust you.
Oh, I can't wait. I got chills when I first heard the first teaser, and I was embarrassed that I got chills.
I'm going to check it out. I don't know how it's going to hold up, but I'll definitely check it out.
Now, they're supposed to be playing kind of like themselves, coming from like a big hit TV show, so maybe they're all actors, and that like theme song's always in their head because they're not
going to play. He's not going to be Steve.
I think they are, but I think they're themselves from a hit TV show. I think it's almost like a parody.
Let's be honest. It's going to be a reach regardless.
I can't wait.
I still want to see what they come up with.
I got the premiere date and everything, August 7th. I'm so excited.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Well, you just read it.
No, it wasn't on there.
Okay.
Is it on there?
It was.
Oh, well. Okay. Coming up on DBL, our wedding season series continues with ways to find the best deals on the venue, food, and clothing, tips no bride can afford to miss. And is there a modern day war on science with the flat earth movement gaining steam? Some say yes. We're going to debate. Coming up next.
This Memorial Day, DBL wants to honor the fallen. Tell us about your beloved service member who paid the ultimate sacrifice. and send in a candid photo. DBL will share their story on air the week leading up to Memorial Day so that it may never be forgotten.
Point on how they could have utilized her other than, okay, so let's say she's taking time off to have a baby. They could have showed her being healthy while having a baby, showed her recovery after the baby, showed her getting back on track. There's plenty of ways to utilize that endorsement deal to sell product, and I bet it would have sold more product because so many women out there would have related.
An incredible amount. I mean, I have Soul Cycle tonight at 5:30. I went to Orange Fitness class this morning at 5 a.m. and the class was 96% women,
yeah,
99% women.
Yeah.
And the fact that Nike, when I looked at that, I was like, I would have been in a marketing meeting, like, would have stood up and high-fived everybody, like, we're done for the day.
Yes.
I would have put this woman on a platform. That woman represents
The fact that she
most
was running
women
at
between
8 months pregnant.
26 and 49.
That's disgusting. And then nursing her child in between races.
Let alone safe. Is that
I mean,
safe?
I know.
To be running a race?
I don't know.
An intense.
Yeah.
That's intense.
I don't think that's safe.
I don't
I
know.
can't believe that wasn't like headline
And
news.
her health insurance taken away. Gross.
That's total bull.
Gross.
That's
Especially
that's
when you're
total.
pregnant to not have, I mean, having a baby is like 12 grand here in the States. If you don't have insurance, good luck.
And that's a healthy baby.
Yeah, and exactly. Even when you and I, like, we both owed money after having our children.
Yeah.
You owed like another $2,500.
Yeah.
Even after having insurance,
Did you have
$2,500.
Sophie?
I had Sophie at Cedars, yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I did kids.
What's crazy about Cedars is they have a fancy section, like where Beyonce gave birth, and the fancy section, I never got to see it because when I found out how much it is, it's like $45,000 a night. It's insane. And I don't think you're sure.
I think I'm just gonna stay there one night with no baby.
Apparently it's like you're in like a Four Seasons hotel within Cedars-Sinai. You get a chef, you get like a butler, you get like custom doulas to help you. It's crazy that some people have that luxury. Yeah.
I think that's a little, I don't know. I think that's a little
I think
crazy.
that would take away from it. Like my chef coming in.
Emmy gift bag to one lucky member of DBL Nation. Send us a video of your best award acceptance speech to dailyblastlive.com/Emmys. Our favorite submission is taking home this show-stopping prize, worth more than $14,000. So what are you waiting for? Watch, play, and win.
Welcome back to DBL. We live in a very polarizing time. Society is so divided that some of us don't believe in science at all. Bill Nye the Science Guy, you know, the upbeat TV scientist from the 90s, he is fed up with the climate change debate, so he ditched his cheery persona on Last Night Cheery on last week tonight with John Oliver. Watch.
The planet's on fire. There are a lot of things we could do to put it out. Are any of them free? No, of course not. Nothing's free, you idiots. Grow the up. You're not children anymore. I didn't mind explaining photosynthesis to you when you were 12, but you're adults now, and this is an actual crisis.
The denial of science is hitting a high, and facts don't seem to persuade the public anymore. Just today, scientists announced levels of carbon dioxide, just like what Bill Nye was saying, that were last seen on Earth, get this, 3 million years ago. So that's the comparison of the levels. Before humans even existed, it's the gas that's trapped heat in our atmosphere, causing the Earth to warm. Yet the debate over whether climate change is real continues.
No, it doesn't.
What do you mean? You don't think there's a debate out there? Have you looked at the comments?
I think what we do on the
there's
show,
debate.
It's important for us to not hear that debate. We're listening to people that don't know what they're talking about. If you walked past somebody outside that was having some kind of mental breakdown, yelling in a cloud, would you take their conversation to be equal to an expert?
Do you want to hear one of the comments? Let me read one of the comments from our viewers.
It's a comment from somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about.
Then let's educate, okay? Here's a comment right now from Patrick on Twitter. Patrick says, the climate crisis is fake. Name one factor in weather or climate today that is anywhere near out of line with the past 10,000 years of this Holocene interglacial period. Just one.
Okay, that's what people do when when they don't know what they're talking about. They use some big word because that's what they've read on the internet. These scientists have spent their entire lives studying this. They've then combined at summits and talked about this. But then we take it and we take that and we balance it with what a mechanic in South Carolina
name
says.
something.
And we can't do.
Let's name some stuff. So
But
let's
the
name.
anti-vaxxers.
Let's name some stuff because we're going to get to anti-vaxxers.
Flat
Just so we can have
earthers.
okay, let's name some stuff because he asked, what are some examples of climate change? Right?
I'm not a climate change
Okay,
scientist.
let me provide some facts here. So
Yes.
number one, the ice caps. Okay, they are melting at an exponential rate.
Sam,
very
these people
alarming.
don't care about facts. They don't care about
I
facts.
thought we were supposed to have a debate. How is that
But we
debating
can't
when
have
you
a
just say
we can't
I
have
don't
a
care
debate
about
with somebody that's
facts?
being illogical, Sam.
Okay, can I provide some information then?
Please.
Okay, because you can't debate that we have a rapid extinction of species.
Agreed.
You can't debate the fact that we are killing our forests with deforestation for
Agreed.
animal agriculture. You can't deny the fact that our Great Barrier Reef is dying at an exponential rate, along with coral reefs. And guess what happens? We are seeing more and more disasters, right? Natural disasters, and people are going to say there's always been natural disasters, but they are coming up more frequency and more intensity because of the warming of the planet. So there are some examples because we were asked for some examples.
I'm sorry.
We have to get to one more.
So frustrating.
I know. Here's another one though. It's the very first image of Earth from space, taken on August 23rd, 1966. Fast forward to now and flat Earth. Okay, so flat Earth conventions pop up all over the country where people truly believe the Earth is a disk and that Antarctica surrounds the oceans, and the government and NASA are working together to continue the lie that the Earth is round. So do you want to say something to flat earthers since you were...
Yeah, enjoy your mom's basement. I'm tired of talking about these people.
Yeah.
They're irrelevant and they're slowing down progress. And that's why our society is not progressing at the rate it should, because we give idiots equal balance with scientists, people that have 2 or 3 PhDs in this field. And would you consult me, Jeff, about your brakes? I don't know anything about cars, but what if I just logged on every day and was like, here, put motor oil in the gas tank? I don't know.
It's true.
But yet, it's my opinion and the mechanics' opinion are the same because we both have access to the internet.
Yeah.
Stop talking to people that don't know what they're talking about. That's why your kids have the measles, so enjoy that.
That was another thing in here about
But why is it just the
anti-vax.
measles? Why don't they not vaccinate against polio? What if the government's involved with that?
I know.
Go do it. If you're going to do it, walk the walk. Be a Christian Scientist and go all the way.
Right. The reason why we're out of time, I'm just being told. That's too bad. I wish we had longer for this block.
Yeah, this really annoys me as somebody that sees friends of mine just spend their entire lives studying this, and just, you know, my friends that are doctors have people come in the office like, well, my cousin JT said that. It's like, what? Like that has equal.
I know. Okay.
Enjoy it. Enjoy your mom's basement.
We don't typically have a conversation at the panel on the break after this block, but this is TV talk, but we will be continuing this conversation on our Facebook and YouTube. They're coming over as we speak, so come with us, join the conversation. There's a lot more. We'll be right back.
This Thursday on Daily Blast Live.
Team, on your mark, get set, go!
Our hosts are getting savage in the wild for the ultimate camping competition.
We're gonna be in trouble.
Hosted by Amazing Race and Survivor star Corinne Kaplan.
Go! Challenge it on! This way.
Who will brave the elements?
We're going right over there, go over
and
there.
who will crash?
It's 26 degrees outside. I feel sick. I feel angry.
Don't miss Fully Clothed and Afraid. This Thursday on DBL.
Guys, so there was one more in here. Al mentioned anti-vaccine. So even though it's been debunked that, we'll get into the measles and all that, but what got brought up to our Facebook page was the fact, and our Twitter, that people believe that vaccines cause autism, okay? So we have here, Doreen from Twitter says, I love my 4 beautiful children and I would never want to cause unwanted problems in their learning. That's why I would never vaccinate. And then other people chimed in about how it causes autism. So just a quick history lesson. In 1997, Andrew Wakefield, this was a British surgeon, he came out with a paper in the Lancet, and in the paper it said he linked autism to vaccines. It created widespread concern, clearly from parents out there who were like, oh my God, I don't want to give my child autism. Well, he was quickly discredited. So then people looked at his study, they found, they debunked his study, they discredited his study, and they also found that he was trying to develop an all-natural vaccine. So they found that he had financial incentive to get rid of the MMR vaccine so he could come in with his like homeopathic stuff. So that's been debunked. For some reason, that still lives on. Even though we've had study after study after study disproving that it does not cause autism, because of Andrew Wakefield in 1997, there's still distrust out there.
I would argue it's the same reason why he had an incentive in order to perpetuate this agenda. Everyone has their own agenda. So when you have only X amount of information, people pick and choose.
Yeah.
I just had this conversation with my father-in-law, who's a geologist, about global warming. It's not the idea that most people think that it doesn't exist. It's about the reasons why, if they claim that it admits that it exists, what that does for their fields, for their living.
Right.
So there's always a reason
Right.
behind
Yeah.
why people are holding on to what they're holding on to.
But then the victims, unfortunately, sometimes are just parents that are blinded by it.
Watch and win word is sunscreen.
Welcome back to DBL. Wedding planning can be stressful, and when you're on a budget, it can be even more challenging. That's why DBL teamed up with wedding planner Kristen Wilkins from We Tie the Knots to help senior supervising producer Patty and her fiance Tom plan the wedding of their dreams.
We've been dating for 10 years.
Until I finally asked on Valentine's Day her to marry me.
I founded We Tie the Knots in 2011, so this is our 8th year of planning luxury high-end weddings all over Colorado and across the country.
The average wedding costs $37,000.
Yeah, it's money well spent. Great. Excellent.
I'm really excited to meet with Patty and Tom today because I really believe my experience in the high-end luxury market here in Colorado will actually help me give them some insider tips on how to save money for their wedding. So I brought you guys to Great Humphreys Mansion today to talk through affordable venue options. This particular mansion has everything you guys need. It comes with chairs, tables, sound, lighting, all included, and that's really gonna save you guys a lot of money in the long run. Another great affordable option that you could consider as well is a backyard wedding. A really great way to maximize your budget and really have the fun party that you want without the restrictions that a venue might put on you. I know you have a lot to think about, but I hope the next time I see you, you're hungry because we're gonna be talking about food.
We decided on a venue. It's very exciting.
So my number one concern now after having the venue is keeping everything within our budget.
But also that it's going to be the day that we always remembered.
And also the day that we always will remember.
Hey guys, so good to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Congrats on getting your venue. We've used about a quarter of our budget, and that's also why I brought you to our food truck rally today. A lot of caterers can charge anywhere from $60 to $150 a person. These guys will get you closer to $30 a person.
Excellent.
They're kind of cool. They look really funky and it's different, and I think it'll make up for the fact that people have to throw away their own plates.
Thank you.
Hey guys.
Hey.
You already found the dessert?
Yes.
Well, that's great because that was next on my list to talk to you guys. I think if you guys aren't totally set on that picture moment, then let's think about some other dessert options for your guests.
What about booze?
You don't have to offer an entire stocked bar with every liquor available.
Okay.
You can really limit it to those 2 or 3 signature cocktails that are some of your favorites. All right, well, I'm really excited that we've conquered your venue. I think we're pretty close on making some decisions with food. Next up, we need the internet.
All right.
All right, y'all, it's time to get down to the nitty gritty. With the venue and food locked down, we've got a little bit less than half your budget to work with.
Okay.
So no longer do you have to buy every single thing you want to wear on your wedding day. There's really great sites out there like Rent the Runway and Happily Ever Borrowed. There's a lot of great menswear rental sites as well. One of my favorites is the Black Tux. They have everything from suits to tuxedos and a lot of really fun high fashion looks in between. And they really are one of the most affordable too.
Thank you so much. I actually feel like we can actually do this now, so we really appreciate it. I also think that we are going to save a lot of money because of Kristen's help, and we can take all that savings and
Put it in a retirement fund.
okay, I was going to say honeymoon.
Invest it in the stock market.
Agree to disagree.
I love them. We'll be right back.
Hear the round of applause that's going on in the studio. Don't worry, it's not for me. It's not for me. It's for Patty, one of our producers, Patty. She's amazing. She's one of the coolest producers out there. So I'm so excited that she's getting married. What do you guys do for your wedding? Because I'm single, ready to mingle, and I like Pringles. So one day I'm going to get married, and I always wondered what my wedding was going to be like. I don't really have a dream wedding. I would just like to go do what's it called, a Justice of Peace in the courthouse. Justice of Peace?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to you.
When you just go to the courthouse and get married, like Schroeder did, Jeff Schroeder. You go to the courthouse, get married, and I just want to have like a big reception.
Yes.
I don't want like all the wedding bells and the big cakes and all that stuff. That's just me. But I just want to have a great time and save the money for like a month-long honeymoon with my wife. So my future wife to be, if you're out there, you like my suit? So I'm gonna go back to viewer comments throughout the entire show. Remember, we've hit on a lot of topics today, from the alleged pregnant woman who was shot and killed by the police officer, to the valedictorian, to Nike. We've been talking about a lot. So Bill Owsley in Atlanta, ATL, what's up, shawty, says, better question to ask is why do so many people resist the directives of the police officer? You do not see videos of people being shot by police who are complying with the police directives. Yes, but we also thanks for writing in, Bill. We also see videos of people who are not complying with police officers who do not get shot and killed. So we don't see videos of people getting shot and killed that's not complying. But at the same time, we see people that's not complying that don't get shot as well. And sometimes, most of the time, all the time, not really all the time, but their skin tends to be on the fairer side. Just calling it like it is. Peggy Williams says, police are law enforcers. When people break laws and fail to comply to instructions when detained by police, the police must act. Just seconds to act. Yes, I don't know if you all remember, but a couple months ago, I did a police simulator with the Denver Police Department. And here's my take on it. Because as a black man, I'm not reaching for anything. I don't care if I have an itch on my nose. I'm not reaching for anything. My hands are up. Don't want to make this about race, but it is what it is. I'm not reaching for anything. No one should. But I just remember at the police simulator, myself and one of our old former co-hosts, we were there. We were replying to a man beating up his girlfriend, and we were there. And we came and we tried to de-escalate the situation. The Denver Police Department was teaching us or stressing us to de-escalate. We tried. The man had his hands up, but then at the split second reached. We didn't automatically draw our weapons or shoot because we wanted to see if it was a cell phone. We didn't want to have a wrongful shot. The guy got off 2 shots before we were able to get off 1. This is a police simulator, but the police are taught if someone reached, they're shooting, they shoot to kill. So we're going to learn more about this incident, what's going on, but thank you all for writing in.
We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a fantastic Tuesday, everybody. Bye-bye.
Hi guys, Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital team. So I've got about 2 minutes to tell you about a really crazy story that's happening. There's a YouTube feud. James Charles, he's 19 years old. DeRay's here to talk about this with me. So James Charles is the first man on CoverGirl, right?
Exactly.
So that's how you'll remember him.
And he was actually the top YouTube beauty sensation. He had over 15 million followers on YouTube.
Well, now he's got about 12 million followers. He's lost at least 3 million followers because of a feud with another YouTube star.
Tati Westbrook, Glam Life Guru, and she really ripped into him after he betrayed her, essentially.
Yeah, so he has been promoting another brand that's a competitor of her brand, and it kind of sucks because she was the one who got him into the YouTube. She was his mom of
Practically, and what a lot of people don't know is her husband is the ex-vice president of Motion Pictures. He had a lot of power with
a lot of say.
Contracts. After one meeting and contract editing, they took James Charles from making only $90 to $2,500 per video.
Per video. That's per. So he's a huge YouTube star. Well, he made big mistakes. So he's kind of turned on Tati, is her name, right?
Yes.
Tati, and so she posted a 43-minute video. That video already has 40 million views, and it basically ending their relationship.
And her views have been going up by about 4 million views already.
4 million views. She's gaining so many followers. So it sounds like everyone believes what she's saying, and a lot more people are coming out saying James Charles, he's a liar, is what
And now
people are
it's
saying.
Hollywood too. We have Katy Perry, we have
Kylie
Zara Larson,
Jenner.
Kylie Jenner also is talking about how James is trying to get with their straight men. It's
yeah,
crazy.
It's
really
just crazy. So it sounds like, I mean, he was at the Met Gala this year, and now it sounds like he's being canceled, is what they're saying. A lot of people are worried about his mental health because of this. I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah, what
Let
do
us
you
know
guys
what you think.
Let us know.
Bye, guys.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It is Tuesday, May 14th. We are live, and we are talking about what you're talking about right now. I'm here with Tori, Jeff, Al, and I'm Sam. Let's get started. We are getting our first glimpse at the Beverly Hills 90210 reboot in a new teaser trailer, and there's a familiar tune that's giving everyone the feels. Plus, our own Tori Shulman talks with Happy Days star Marion Ross. The classic TV legend gets candid about the cast members she didn't get along with for years. All of that in minutes, but first we begin with some serious news. New video of an officer-involved shooting last night in Texas is going viral. An unidentified Houston police officer shot and killed a 44-year-old woman who claimed she was pregnant. This followed an altercation with the officer after he tried to arrest her. The whole thing was caught on a cell phone camera. And a warning to our viewers, we have edited the graphic video, but you will hear the gunshots. Wow. There are reports that the woman suffered from mental health issues and may not have been pregnant. We're hearing two completely different narratives. We have her family saying she suffered from schizophrenia. She has been on medication and been in treatment for this for years. They also claim that that officer and her have had many run-ins, that he lives in the apartment building. And then we hear from the officer's side saying, yeah, I ran into her a lot because she had warrants. So two completely different narratives.
My question is, if he's dealt with her before, then he knew that she was probably a person that suffered from mental illness. So why didn't he call for backup? Why did he try and arrest somebody that was stated to be walking back to their apartment? I hope I can call for the booth on this. Can we run that footage that I asked for in the first hour? This is at Penn State. Their kids, look at that. You know what's interesting about these footage with all these drunk kids that are high and drunk and climbing on street poles? No one was killed or shot that night. So this is the equivalent of one black woman walking back to her apartment. How did all these kids make it back to their dorm that night alive?
I have to disagree with you on this one, and I do so respectfully, and I know this is a really nuanced conversation, but I think the police officer was doing his job from what I've seen. And I know that's hard for people to say and hear. You cannot resist when a police officer says, put your hands behind your back. When you reach for anything, what you don't see in your Penn State video is anyone interacting and resisting an arrest.
You don't think any of those students resisted arrest that night?
But does it result in her death? They are trained, if you reach forward, to shoot to kill. And that is their training, and we stand by it. And if we want to protect our people in blue, we have to understand that that was not police brutality, in my opinion, from what I saw.
There's got to be. But listen, Tori, I believe it. I respect. I get it. And I do not want a Monday morning quarterback, a police officer who risks their lives every single day to protect myself and my family. I'm very much in debt to our police officers. However, there's got to be a better way.
Not when you're resisting an arrest and you're reaching. You can't reach.
Tori,
let's get Jeff in real quick.
Okay.
Let's get Jeff in.
Well, I have a lot of respect for police officers, and I understand with culture issues, that's not always the case. And I understand where you're coming from, Al. I learn a lot from you every day on this panel. I watch this show called Body Cam Footage. It's on A&E with police officers, what they go through on a daily basis. What they go through is something that me and you can't comprehend or even comment on unless you kind of watch that show and you get a behind-the-scenes look at what they do go through. Had I known that this person did have a mental issue and I was the police officer, that would make things even worse for me. Had she reached for my taser and put me out of my, I had no more facilities left, and she could have grabbed my gun and ended my life, so I don't go home to my family.
But why wouldn't you call for backup then?
Why,
You're in the moment.
okay, why is it my problem?
I'm not saying it's your problem. I'm saying we don't have the proper, I'm not saying it's your or the police officer's problem. I'm saying we do not have proper protocols in place to protect not only the police officer, but the civilians. And listen,
hold on, let me finish real fast. We do this all the time, and there's always a reason why someone gets shot. And again, please, I don't want to sound racist by any means. Take that out of this.
You're not racist.
I don't want it to, but I don't want it to come off like this. There's always a reason why this happens. If people would just comply, which is not always the right thing to do. If you would comply, you take yourself out of the situation.
Philando Castile was complying. Philando Castile was complying.
And I know we're going to have and I know we're going to have these.
But and before we even go there, Sam, Tori, as the most logical person I know, if you're saying that the police officer acted the right way, and this is the protocol they follow with every American citizen, then just statistically, because African Americans are only 14% of the population, we should be on Daily Blast Live mostly reporting on white people.
1,000,000%.
Just using math.
Agreed.
So then how is it that we've never done that?
I would never sit here and look at you in the face and say there isn't a problem. There is a problem.
Right.
I'm not sure.
You're talking about this
was a problem. He Facebook Lived and said, I have a gun. He did everything right, that man. That was murder, in my opinion. This was a man who thought he might lose his job.
We also don't know all the details.
Agreed.
We also don't. We do not know all the details. You can barely see anything in that video.
But from what I see and what we're supposed to talk about is I saw a man doing his job.
All right, that's your opinion.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That is a
It's tough because you're right.
We can be better.
We don't know all the details, and so we're just going off of what we know.
I love that you tried to put yourself in the police officer's position. That's something we all need to do, but I also think we need to put ourselves in the position, because you said why would you resist arrest? Listen, I'm not a black person. I don't know what it's like, but I'm sure you've been pulled over by a cop and you in that split moment thought, is this going to end my life? I've never had that thought.
I always think that. Every time I'm pulled over, I assume
Did you have the thought to reach for his taser? Did you have that thought?
No, but I don't think it matters, Jeff. I don't think Eric Gardner was selling loose cigarettes in front of a CD store.
And that was murder.
And he was choked to death. It's like it doesn't matter. And like when we talk about like, oh, the cop felt threatened. Think most of this country is, let's be completely honest, a lot of people on drugs, a lot of people on opioids, a lot of people on meth, a lot of people that just did a
Doesn't that make it more dangerous?
So no, but I'm saying, so with those things that you just agreed with, then we are going to have people that are combative with the police. Last time I checked, cops has been on the air for 37 years because of that. People watch that. If you watch Alaska State Troopers, all those people up in that area, they're all armed, they're all drunk all the time, and they're all high all the time. Why aren't we seeing footage of them being killed by the cops? I'm not sure that as soon as the cops roll up to their trailer that they're backing out with their arms behind their back. They talk to these people.
But are they reaching for a taser?
We don't know that, though.
Allegedly.
We don't. That's
what we're going off of.
Yes, that's one narrative. The eyewitness narrative is that she reached for his foot.
Right.
So let's just be careful. We don't know all the details. Let's just take
Sam, let me put you in a perspective right now, because no matter where you work, you have people look out for this person, right? I don't know why you would have a gun or a taser. It's a make-believe situation. But if you walked out of here right now and you saw one of those people that you know has a problem, a crazy issue, that they were fired from this very place, and you saw them walking up to you and they grabbed your taser and you have a gun, are you going home to your family tonight, or are you going to let that dude tase you?
I would fight for my family, but here's the difference. I would hope that I would be prepared if I was a police officer with protocol in those type of situations.
The protocol
is called for backup. He has a radio in his car for just that situation. Sam doesn't have a radio with her. If he has dealt with her, which I'm sure he has, and we know people that are mentally ill, you would say, oh, there's that woman that I'm very uncomfortable with. Let me call for Al, Sam, and Tori before I approach them. He approached her on her way because he was dead set on making an arrest right there with a woman that was not immediately causing causing a problem, at least not as much as we saw in that Penn State video.
Yeah, I think the conversation is a great one to have, because at the end of the day, hopefully we can look at both sides of the story and implement more protocols to prevent situations like this from happening, protecting police, protecting society, civilians, and chime in, DBL Nation. We do want to hear from you. I'm already seeing the comments as we speak. We'll continue the conversation when we get to that break. We do have to update you on some sad breaking news from Hollywood about the death of a well-known comedian. Raquel Villanueva has the news at the moment.
Well, Sam, Tim Conway passed away this morning at the age of 85. He's best known for his work on The Carol Burnett Show, and she described him as an on-set prankster and just released the statement saying, "I'm heartbroken. He was one in a million, not only as a brilliant comedian, but as a human being. I cherish the times we had together, both on the screen and off. He'll be forever in my heart." He went on to have his own sitcom, and his reps say he had been battling a long illness. Conway survived by his wife and 7 children.
Thank you, Raquel. We'll be right back.
This Thursday on Daily Blast Live.
Team, on your mark, get set, go!
Our hosts are getting savage in the wild for the ultimate camping competition.
We're gonna be in trouble.
Hosted by Amazing Race and Survivor star Corinne Kaplan.
Go! Challenge on! This way.
Who will brave the elements?
We're going right over there. Go over
and
there.
who will crash?
I feel miserable. I feel sick. I feel angry.
Don't miss Fully Clothed and Afraid. This Thursday on DBL.
Getting a lot of comments in regard to this police officer involved shooting. We got Carla watching on King 5 in Seattle says, "No sympathy, obey the law and obey police commands." However, we have Christina Zinzan on Facebook saying, "My daughter is autistic and she would have no idea how to deal with a situation like this. Each case has to be handled individually." Pamela Perry Alston on Facebook, "He knew her, and if she had warrants, why did he not bring another police to the arrest?" Marjorie Lemons on Facebook, "Shooting her 5 times while she was on the ground is excessive." We have Wanda Miller in Louisville saying she was an unarmed woman, for crying out loud. Then we got Robin on Facebook, "Stop resisting and you might live. Tasing an officer then screaming 'I'm pregnant' doesn't give you a pass." Gary List in Seattle, "Police officers put their lives on the line every day to protect and serve the public. The officer was in the right." Alan in Seattle says, "It's always surprising how freedom-loving Americans simply accept they have to do everything they are told because the other person is wearing a uniform." So we're just seeing both of these narratives continue to go back and forth. My position is I just want our police officers who risk their lives every single day to be trained in situations like this where, you know, if that's the case, but given what we heard from the police department and from her family that she was suffering from schizophrenia, the police department said mental health issues, then you would hope that they would call in for backup, because a warrant shouldn't end in someone else's life. In my opinion, it shouldn't.
I just looked at this. In 2016, how many times do you think that the police in Britain fired their weapons as a total police unit? For
Like 11.
7.
Wow.
So
that's why Steph was.
That's 2
Steph
more.
didn't understand this we had a whole thing with Stephanie Jones. She was on the panel earlier, and she was just completely horrified because she sees altercations at bars and pubs all the time where the police officers are tackling and maybe there's punches being thrown, but it doesn't end in someone's life.
What do they always say? If you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
But we're in America, and we're dealing with life in nanoseconds. I don't know if you have
we can
time
be
to call
better,
for backup.
but we can be better.
We can.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Fifth Host, when we talk about what you're talking about. An Ohio high school is the latest to get rid of the valedictorian tradition at graduation. The superintendent says this is an attempt to improve the mental health of students after finding patterns of anxiety, depression, and suicide. Students will now be recognized with honors similar to college, which will value individual performance in classes rather than class rank. So DBL Nation, should high schools eliminate the honor of valedictorian? Take it away, Al.
All right. right, Sammy, not this Sammy. Another Sammy from Facebook says, isn't the point of rewarding the valedictorian to put stress on kids to work harder? That's important. Sammy, I think it's not about putting stress on kids. I think it's about rewarding an outstanding individual achievement. I think the valedictorian is a major thing, especially when we've seen over the last couple of weeks how important it is to get your kid in college. Putting valedictorian on your resume looks very good, and I think you're robbing a lot of hardworking students for that.
I say put it on your resume, but maybe have someone else inspire you for a speech. Renee from Facebook says, what is with our society's obsession with competition? There are other values that matter too, like honesty, dependability, kindness, etc. My school is actually written in this article, Georgetown Day School. We're well known. We don't have a valedictorian. You can put it on your resume and your college application, but it's a secret ballot, and we vote for the person with the most character and public service, or someone who struggled, because that's what the speech is supposed to be for me. My sister is graduating on Friday. She spent many years struggling to get to college. She's graduating from college. I'm so proud, but I'd rather listen to her and hear what she has to say, because that's what I want to hear to inspire me to go off into the world. Congrats, Katie.
Shout out
Sandra
to
from Facebook says, if my son's high school were to do this, I'd put him in a private school. We need to teach our kids that they need to compete with peers to get the best out of life. Tori, very moving, and I'm proud of your sister as well.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that, though. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I think it's
You're
great.
allowed.
But I mean, I'm all about this, Sandra. You kind of just reiterated exactly what I think. You need competition in life to move ahead, at least if you want to get ahead. If you don't want to, maybe that's not your road. But for me, I'm speaking personally, all my greatest successes came from everything I failed at in life. And I made myself better because of those failures. Instead of beating myself up, instead of pointing a finger at someone else did something, instead of making any excuse in the world, I took accountability and rised above from that failure and proved it time and time and time again. And I am where I am because of every time I failed in life.
And Sam, I have a question for you. Obviously, you have a young daughter, Sophie. What would you say to her if she said that the pressure of being valedictorian is too much for me?
I would have to sit down with her and let her know that it's how you handle the pressure. Because unfortunately, the circumstances are never going to change, whether it's in school, whether it's for a job. So it's how you learn to deal with the pressure. It's how you learn to dust yourself off when you fall. And more importantly, it's how to root for your colleagues. You know, I want, if you were to have gotten valedictorian and I didn't, I would hope that my parents would teach me to be proud of you and to be inspired by you, instead of sitting in my room being like, why didn't I get it? Because no, I'm not saying that's you at all.
No, I know.
I just think there's so many lessons in not getting valedictorian, just as much as I'm sure that there's a lot of reward in becoming valedictorian.
Yeah, I just think someone who has failed would be more interesting to hear from.
But that person may have failed. You don't know that valedictorian story.
And that's true.
They may come from nothing, and their speech might be just as inspiring.
And why take away from them for putting in all that hard work all those years?
I don't want to take away. I want them to have that on their application and forever use it. But I'm saying, inspire me with someone that's gone through what you've gone through and come out the other side.
And they may have, though.
And they may have.
Yeah, it's a great conversation, though. Thank you for writing in. Coming up on DBL, are you getting married? What about your daughter or granddaughter? We'll tell you 3 ways you can get the most bang for your buck. And classic TV stars, where are they now? Happy Days' Marion Ross spills the tea on her classmates.
He apparently wanted somebody else for the part.
Your sister was getting slew to 12. Ooh, who's she talking about? Find out when we come back.
I am happy to say you won the Sandals Dream Vacation.
DBL Nation, this could be you. This May, Daily Blast Live is giving away another Sandals Luxury Included vacation. Just watch DBL every day for the word of the day. Then go to dailyblastlive.com/sandals to enter. The winner will be announced May 22nd. The next Sandals vacation winner could be you.
Ooh, you guys see that package for that vacation. My only thing is, if you win the vacation, you have to take me with you.
No.
That's the only, yes, that should be a rule.
No, thank you.
It's a rule. It's a rule. It's going to get people to want to chime in and do all that good stuff to bring me with you, because I turns up. All right, so let's keep this fifth host going. Let's get back to the topic. Talking about, should we get rid of valedictorian? Let me read through a couple before I give my my 2 cents. Michael Loveland, what a great last name, says there can only be one. There can only be one, exactly. Sherry Benton says there should be one winner. This giving everybody a trophy is so wrong. E. Pilgrim in Louisville says no, competition encourages excellence in whatever we do. So that's 3 narratives or 3 comments, all saying that yes, we should have a valedictorian. I come from a professional athlete background where I feel as though if we're doing this, we're taking away from the valedictorian, then in track, are we going to start taking away the gold medal for whoever wins first place in the 100 meters or the cross country? Are we gonna just say, hey, you all ran a good race, but there's no winner? Everyone gave effort, so you all are winners. Absolutely not. That's just how I feel. Sylvia Stinson says, do not eliminate. Hard workers should be recognized. Maybe even throw in other rewards for the other students. Absolutely. Hard work, competition is what's going to get these kids ahead in life. If you have anxiety off of being valedictorian, just think you're going to have anxiety when rent has to be paid at the first of the month.
Welcome back to DBL. When you think about classic TV moms, there is no doubt Mrs. C from Happy Days comes to mind. Marion Ross played that lovable character for 11 seasons. From there, she kept acting, taking on tons of roles until her recent retirement. Ross, who is now 90 years old, even wrote a book detailing the ups and downs of life in showbiz. I had the complete honor of sitting down with the iconic actress at the Hollywood Museum in Los Angeles in today's edition of Classic Stars. Where are they now? We are here with the one, the only mom, Marion Ross. Hello, Marion. Thank you for being here. Thank you for
Well, I raised you all,
Yes.
didn't I? Yeah.
Yes, you did. Now, you were the TV mom everyone wanted, Mrs. C. How does it feel that you had such a big impact on so many people?
I'm so used to it now. It feels very natural.
Now, you recently wrote a book about your life. You're very candid in the book because it's you just being real. You actually said you didn't first get along with Tom Bosley right away.
No, Tom didn't like me, and he apparently wanted somebody else for the part. I just had to bite the bullet and just put up with it. And that went on for years.
Wow. Happy Days was initially supposed to be centered around Ron Howard's character, Richie, but Fonzie became the center of the show. Was there friction or jealousy when that switch happened, or no?
Both of them were very intelligent, well-educated, smart, and they handled it like gentlemen.
Sorry to take the room down a little bit, but Erin Moran, I want to just bring up really quickly, your dear co-star of Happy Days who died of cancer in 2017.
Yeah.
What was Erin like, and what was like to say goodbye to her?
So cute, talented, and it's a tragedy.
You've worked with some of the greats, let's be honest. We've had Audrey Hepburn, Cary Grant, Clark Gable. So I'm gonna show you a couple photos. First up, we're gonna do this one. Now this is the Lone Ranger.
Oh, it is the
from
Lone Ranger.
1954. So tell me about that. Do you remember
Yeah,
this?
my line was, who was that masked man?
Bravo! Bravo! That's amazing.
And I never got to thank him.
I'm gonna show you this one. Ready? Tell me about this. This is Perry Mason, 1959.
You can see what a serious young actress I was.
Yes, you just retired, am I right?
Yes.
Okay, you're how old?
Oh, 90.
Look at this, everybody. This is incredible.
Yeah.
Now, you've worked on so many things that each generation knows you for something differently, right? What inspired you to keep working until almost 90 years old?
Oh, because I am an actress.
Yeah.
I don't get jealous anymore, but I used to be able to look at somebody else doing something and just die.
That's me.
That's
me.
Die.
I know that's
I want to do it.
So there was a competitive drive.
Very competitive.
Wow. When people in our DBL Nation have doubts about themselves and they're in a down period, is there any good maternal advice you'd want to give us?
Hope, and you can be anything.
You're my kind of gal. Mrs. C, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you. I had a good time.
It was so good. She is adorable. Marion Ross's book, My Days, Happy and Otherwise, is available now. We'll be right back.
Promotional Hey, DBL Nation, where my Nickelodeon fans at? Because, guys, we've got some exciting news. Invader Zim and Rocko's Modern Life are getting new movies, yes, new ones, coming to Netflix. And they're going to be the same cast from when we were younger. I mean, wow. Holy crap. So, yeah, Nickelodeon actually announced back in 2018 at San Diego Comic-Con it was, that a new Invader Zim movie will be coming. They never really said anything about dates. And I know the Rocko's Modern Life movie was supposed to come out in 2018. But they decided, let's wait. They didn't put it out. Nothing ever came of that. Well, now I'm telling y'all, they're finally coming this fall. And it seems like, you know I say this all the time, DBL Nation, but it seems like we're stuck in a reboot loop. Like, things just kind of come back around, and it seems like now we're at the 90s, animated cartoons, like, stuff is coming back. I'm not complaining because Rocko's Modern Life and Invader Zim were awesome. But it doesn't seem like some of the original ideas are falling apart. Write me in and let me know, because it seems that way with movies too. Actually, John Wick 3 is coming up this Friday, which is going to be phenomenal. But I mean, it seems like we're stuck in sequels, reboots, remakes. Like, come on, where's the creativity at? And while, like, again, I do love these movies, and it's not a bag on these, but just in general, I mean, it seems like the lineup is stacked with reboots. Disney right now is on a huge reboot, live-action remake binge. They had Dumbo, Jungle Book started it all, Lion King. But I did read a little bit about that somewhere, that Disney is doing these to keep the copyrights for these properties. So it's not just for the money, but I mean, let's be real here. It's a lot for money. But still, write me in and let me know what you think about all these remakes and reboots coming out, because I do want to start seeing some more original movies trickle back in. I mean, as you guys know, Avengers Endgame, biggest Marvel movie to date, building up to 11 years, but again, that's just another sequel. It would be awesome to see some more original films come along, some more original animation. Netflix does a lot of original programming now. I would love to see something along the lines of maybe even that same energy as the early 2000s, late 90s, but just a new show. I mean, even if it's like a show that's making throwback references, things like that. Think about that, DBL Nation. Like, it seems like the original ideas are just starting to kind of slip through the cracks. Like, everybody's reaching back in time to grab whatever they can, and come on now, like, let's get the creativity boiling again, and let's start getting big new franchises, introducing those. And then if you want to make homages to the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, go for it. But come on, let's make some original programming come back. But again, y'all, Invader Zim movie and Rocko's Modern Life special, holy smokes. Write us in and let us know if you've actually ever watched those shows, because they were super popular in the 90s, early 2000s for Invader Zim, and a lot of people have been begging for those shows to come back. DBL Nation, write us in, let us know your thoughts, and we'll see you next break. And clear.
Today's watch and win word is sunscreen.
Welcome back to DBL. Today's Heart Threads is all about community. Watch how a boy took matters into his own hands when it came to potholes in his neighborhood.
This 12-year-old isn't waiting on anyone to fix his street. After Monty Scott's mom damaged her car on a pothole, he decided to do something about it. He took dirt from his family's backyard and filled in potholes on his street.
I didn't want people like messing up their cars like my mom did.
Monty didn't tell anyone about his good deed, but someone captured it on video and posted it on social media. That's how Monty's mom found out.
That's just the type of kid he is. When he sees there's a problem or a need and he thinks he can fix it, he'll try to fix it.
Monty has filled in 15 potholes on his street, and he doesn't plan on stopping.
I'll keep doing it to keep helping the community out.
Monty, some people are just born selfless.
Yeah, there's a figurative and literal thing of that, filling in the holes of society. Just amazing job.
Wow,
there's something
that's
about
so
that. It's
true.
Really pretty.
Well done,
I wish Monty lived in my neighborhood.
I know. Well done. We need more Montys. We'll be right back.
So T.I. and Tiny, Friends and Family Hustle, is all about handling fame and balancing life with your loved ones. And we caught up with Toya Wright and her daughter, Reginae Carter, to talk about this new season. And here's what you can expect.
Hi, Raquel. I can honestly say yes to that. Like, I've done reality shows in the past, and I would say that this one is totally different because, you know, this show is, it focused on building families up. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I admire about the production company and the whole show, you know, the cast and everything. You know, we have something going on. It's like things that are really going on in our lives, and we're always there for each other, and it's just a positive show all around. So make sure you tune in and watch it and see, you know, the crazy times we have, the fun times, the sad times. You know, this season is kind of like an emotional roller coaster, I will say that. I think you can connect to the show because you know, it's a real family show, something that you can all relate to. I'm sure if you can't relate to me, you can relate to something T.I. and Tiny may be going through, something Monica may be going through, something LaToya may be going through. The teens can relate to Reginae, Zanique, Damani, Deja, you know. I feel like it's somebody on that show that you will identify with, and it can inspire and help you get through your situation. You know, it's a really, really good family TV show, and I think it was much needed. We would like to add, make sure you locked in to VH1 on Monday nights. The Family Hustle will be in your house. We're back. Season 2, so tune in.
Base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. We are live, and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. Let's get started. Well, at the moment, Olympic runner Alicia Montano is making a huge statement in a piece for the New York Times. She's calling out Nike for their policies on female athletes, specifically moms. But why Nike? Alicia is sponsored, or was sponsored, by the company until she got pregnant. She says they were going to pause her contract until she gets back to running, so she left Nike. And on top of that, the U.S. Olympic Committee told her they would take away her health insurance if she didn't stay at the top of her game. So she ran a race 8 months pregnant in 2014. But that's not all. Watch.
I taped my abs together because they were torn apart. I wore a brace as I'd go and I'd lift to come back within their time frame that they were expected of me. They weren't sure if I was going to be able to return after my pregnancy. I proved them wrong. I won a national championships at 6 months postpartum. I won another national championship at 10 months postpartum while still nursing my baby girl.
She gets me teary-eyed. And the New York Times reports that in a Nike contract shared with them, it says, quote, the company has the right to reduce an athlete's pay for any reason if they don't meet a specific performance threshold. And they report there are no exceptions for pregnancy. So we have a lot to say about this, but we do want to hear from our DBL Nation. Do you think women have, or are rather, penalized for having kids? Head to dblvote.com, weigh in. Whew. This is a tough one.
Sam, I want to hear from you. You're the only mom on the panel.
And an athlete and a mom.
Yes.
I think that this is disgraceful, completely disgraceful. I understand that in Nike's mind, they're looking at it as a business. But this woman running at 8 months pregnant, the fact that Nike just wrote her off in a way, thinking, okay, she's going to have this baby, which in their mind they're thinking is almost like she blew her knee, she can never play in the game again. When women, after they have children, they can get back to that. Look at Serena Williams, if that's what you're driven to do.
Who was represented by who?
Nike.
Exactly.
Look at the women who get back right into the workforce. And so it's not only athleticism that we're talking about, because I know that there's a lot of our viewers right now who are either holding off having kids because you fear that your employer will support you, or they won't support you, that they'll discard you. So I think that this is an actually relatable issue. People treat pregnancy in America and maybe even globally as if you can't come back from that.
Yeah, I got to be honest here. Nike missed the whole story. The story is the woman pregnant. Right. That's the Nike story. When you have Serena Williams and Colin Kaepernick saying, believe in something, even if you have to sacrifice everything, you show her taping her abs together. That's the Nike story that you completely missed. She's absolutely right. Nike held on to not only Tiger Woods during his drunken phase, Kobe Bryant during his alleged rape case. They somehow were allowed to pay them, but didn't pay her. I have a real issue with this one.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off what you said, Tori, because those are my sentiments. I'm thinking always that when somebody takes one lane, it opens up another one. And there's a specific brand. We covered it maybe 5-6 months ago, Jeff. Remember when Stephen Curry, first of all, Cavs, came out and he had a pair of shoes for Under Armour and didn't make some for young ladies. Maybe there's an uncontracted female athlete that is using Under Armour to tape her abs together, and maybe they should call her and have a really good campaign against Nike. I don't know. I don't know business, but
should a woman have to tape her abs together? The whole reason why she taped her abs together because she was forced to get back into the sport so quickly because they took away her her health insurance. I mean, her abs were separated because she just gave birth. So why don't you let your body heal before you're forced to go out there? Because she felt like there was no other way because of her health insurance. That's sickening to me.
Yeah, it's disgraceful that they took her health insurance away. They should have definitely.
That was the Olympic committee.
Like any other. Man, what's in my throat?
We talk
like
for
any
3
other
hours
business.
every day,
Yeah, like any other business. You know what I mean? It's maternity leave. Hold on. But taking that aside, just going at it like a business perspective, athletes tape their ankles before every game. Tell an athlete from Reebok, from Nike, from anything, when they blow out their knee and they have a 10-year deal and the team goes, see you later, that's the same thing.
I don't think it's the same thing because I think when you blow out your knee, right, you can't come back from that. If you can be rehabilitated, that's a whole other issue. But if a doctor says this athlete is donezo, that's not the case for women who have pregnancy.
You said it yourself, having a baby is going through a car crash.
Right, but you can come back from that.
You can come back from a knee injury too.
Then that's different. I thought if a doctor said this athlete is gone, it's done playing because they blew out their knee and there's no way to rehabilitate it, that's a unique situation. But women do come back from having a baby.
And especially the Me Too movement, for Nike to not have picked up on this as a branding moment, to say we represent a pregnant runner, they missed the mark on this one totally.
And I also think our viewers completely relate. So viewers, 78% of you feel it because I'm sure
I do.
You at home, Tori, you feel like that you've
37 right here.
Put off having kids because you feel like it will end your career.
Absolutely, 100%.
That's horrific.
I will be completely honest. I didn't know if I could ever be on a TV show. And when I walked into the DBL audition, there was someone 6 months pregnant and I burst out tears. And I said, how are you allowing her to be there? And the casting director said, she has a mouth, doesn't she, and a brain. I've never seen an audition with a pregnant woman.
I know.
Never.
I know. Yeah. Change is happening. It really is. Well, let's switch gears a little bit here. Nostalgia for you and me, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
Huge 90210 fans.
Me too.
You too? You've never seen 90210.
Guys, I'm a diehard fan and I won't discuss it. I get so emotional I can't talk about it.
All right. The cast of 90210 is back. Check out this new teaser. Chills again. How embarrassing that I get goosebumps
every time.
Because it reminds me of, childhood 16. Look at Al. What? It reminds me of being 16 years old watching my favorite TV show.
Somebody
What's wrong with
making
that?
coffee and then making a right turn.
No, it was the
goosebumps.
music. Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na. Yeah, it's the music. You loved it.
I loved it. I'm not going to hide it.
Well, Jeff, you used to have parties right back in the day?
Oh my God, you did not.
I did. In my college dorm room, people would be like, what are you doing? I'm like, it's Wednesday. I'm going to watch 90210. And they're like, loser. I'm like, yeah, see you later, loser. By the end of the, and these were guys on my football team. By the end of the series, like, are you watching the finale tonight? There was like 30 people in my room drinking beers on Wednesday night. Yeah.
And that was before you could record episodes, so that was appointment TV.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So don't pretend like you don't like it either.
I can't wait. I can't wait. August 7th, that's the premiere. We should do a little party. me.
I'm in.
Al, you're not invited because you
He's
don't
like
care.
9021
You don't
OMG,
care.
I'm over this.
Yeah.
There we go. You saved it at the end.
Any Angelina Jolie fans in here? Yeah. Well, get excited because she's starring in a new sequel. Stephanie Jones has a story and it's coming in hot.
We first saw Angelina Jolie transform herself into the fierce Maleficent in the first movie released in 2014, but she's back and looking more wicked than ever in the sequel trailer for Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. She stars alongside Michelle Pfeiffer, who plays Queen Ingrid, and it looks so good. Check this out.
There are many who prey on the innocent. I'm sure your kind would agree. If I didn't know better, I'd say you were making a threat. Well, do you? Do I what? Know better. Must be a season of
Angelina was also one of the producers on the film, which hits theaters on October the 18th.
Yeah.
I legit got goosebumps again. What is wrong with me?
I think it might just be cold in here, Sam. I don't think you.
No, I was really exhilarated by Angelina Jolie's performance. Wow.
Okay.
I'm excited. That's embarrassing.
Put Sam on Rotten Tomatoes. The best thing I've ever seen.
Everything will have 100%. Coming up on DBL, our wedding season series continues with ways to find the best deals on the venue, food, and clothing, tips no bride can afford to miss. And is there a modern-day war on science? With the Flat Earth movement gaining steam, some say yes. We'll debate next.
This Memorial Day, DBL wants to honor the fallen. Tell us about your beloved service member who paid the ultimate sacrifice. And send in a candid photo. DBL will share their story on air the week leading up to Memorial Day, so that it may never be forgotten.
Okay, can I tell you guys the one person who knows 90210 more than anyone? Hey, Chris, could you come over here for a second? So this is one of our senior executive producers who is like the coolest guy I know, but obsessed with 90210.
I might have seen a few episodes.
How many episodes have you seen?
I might have seen every episode.
You've seen every episode. Who's your favorite character?
My favorite character. Wow, that's a tough one. I really got to think that through.
I feel like you know.
That's hard. I like I like the girl who was the dean's daughter that Brandon.
You know her name.
I'm
You know her
escaping
name?
me. This
Oh, I
moment.
see. Okay.
It is.
All right. Well,
But
if you
I like
think
her a lot.
if you think you were more of a diehard 90210 fan than our senior executive
that's
producer,
right.
he's watched every episode. I
Yeah.
need you to come up with a question and see if he can answer it. So a 90210 trivia for
I'll
Chris
play the quiz.
Clark in the next break.
This is not embarrassing at all. I feel really good about this.
So I feel really good about your
50-year-old
self-esteem
man.
right now. Yep, totally comfortable with
How
yourself.
many,
Really good.
how many girlfriends did Brandon have on the show?
How many? He had. Let's see. There was
Oh God.
9.
Really?
No, I have no idea.
No, I think it was only a couple.
Confident she'd be like, I know.
What about Luke Perry? How many girlfriends did Dylan have on the show?
Well, I mean, see, girlfriends is sketchy because he had flings with a lot of girls.
But Brenda?
I feel like our stage manager, Brenda David, and then do you know Kelly. about this?
Right.
Do you know Brenda and Kelly were 90210? his two loves. and it was
Never
always-
seen it. Quiz me on Friends Are Always Sunny, and there's a different story.
Oh, yeah. So they were always the triangle.
I feel
But then
like
he also got married to Rebecca Gayheart, who died on the show.
Is she the Noxzema girl?
Yeah.
She was the mob boss.
Yeah, she was the mob boss's daughter.
Oh man, I used to know her
She got hit
name
by
too.
a car.
So pretty.
Machete? No.
Which in real life, she hit someone with a car.
Machano?
Yes,
was it
yes,
his
and
name?
that actor lived near me too. That.
Yeah.
So
he was
we
the
need-
mob boss, and then Dylan. Ooh.
We need
Don
90210
Martin.
trivia for Chris Clark to see if you can beat it. Write us in YouTube or Facebook. Thanks, guys. Or Twitter.
We're giving away a Daytime Emmy gift bag to one lucky member of DBL Nation. Send us a video of your best award acceptance speech to dailyblastlive.com/Emmys. Our favorite submission is taking home this show-stopping prize, worth more than $14 $15,000. So what are you waiting for? Watch, play, and win.
Welcome back to DBL. We live in a very polarizing time. Society is so divided that some of us don't believe in science at all anymore. Bill Nye, the science guy, you know, the upbeat TV scientist from the 90s. He's fed up with climate change, or the climate change debate. So he ditched his cheery persona on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. Watch.
The planet's on fire. There are a lot of things we could do to put it out. Are any of them free? No, of course not. Nothing's free, you idiots. Grow the up. You're not children anymore. I didn't mind explaining photosynthesis to you when you were 12, but you're adults now, and this is an actual crisis.
Crisis indeed. The denial of science is hitting a high, and facts don't seem to persuade the public anymore. So just today, scientists announced levels of carbon dioxide that were last seen on Earth 3 million years ago, before humans even existed. It's the gas that's trapped heat in our atmosphere, causing the Earth to warm. Yet the debate over whether climate change is real continues. I want to lead with a comment that I just saw come in. If we could put it up, I just sent it to the booth. Here it is right here. Patrick from Twitter says the climate crisis is fake. Name one factor in weather or climate today that is anywhere near out of line with the past 10,000 years of this Holocene interglacial period. Just one. First of all, climate and weather are two completely different things. I'll just quickly say you can look at our current state of the planet, whether it's the rapid extinction of species, whether it's the melting of the polar ice caps, whether it's the deforestation or the CO2 levels from animal agriculture, whether it's the frequency and the intensity of all the different storms that we are seeing. Those are all clear-cut examples that we need to take care of our planet right here, right now.
Neil deGrasse Tyson said it best. Science is science, even if you don't believe it. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going
Listen to the people dedicated to the research. Here's another one. Take a look at this. It's the very first image of Earth from space, taken on August 23rd, 1966. Fast forward to now, and flat Earth conventions pop up all over the country where people truly believe the Earth is a disk and that Antarctica surrounds the oceans. And the government and NASA are working together to continue the lie that the Earth is round. What would you say to that, Al?
I would. You know, first of all, it's very strange for me. It's like a full circle to see Bill Nye like that, because for somebody that taught 7th grade for 5 years, if you're about to mail it in on a Friday, like, here, Bill Nye again, y'all. You know, so that he means a lot more to me than he does to you guys. He got me through a lot of Fridays. But, you know, honestly, you know, his frustration, I think, is a lot of our frustration. We're trying to move forward as a society, and, you know, it's just a fact. It's the way human beings are wired. Disinformation moves faster than facts, because disinformation is interesting, Jeff. It's interesting to just say, did you know Bigfoot's downstairs? That's way more interesting than just be like, yeah, this is kind of what's happening, and if we need to do these steps, that's kind of boring. But facts, hate on the internet, which you're a big proponent, not proponent of, but you talk about a lot, it spreads a lot quicker. So we have to remember that, like we always say, people are entitled to their own opinions, but not their own facts. So just do the research.
All right. And Mike from Twitter says, every time I hear someone use the word gravity in a sentence, I laugh to myself. Okay. So
wait, he doesn't believe in gravity?
That's a flat Earth. Well, that's a flat earther.
I see.
We got to get this last one in here. Right now, there is an outbreak of measles in upstate New York. The disease was officially eliminated in 2000. But anti-vaxxers, or people who won't immunize their kids, believe the vaccine causes autism. Can I take this one? Go ahead.
Oh, no, go, please.
No, please.
I was just going to say, I've talked to a lot of logical people while having my first child, telling me not to vaccinate my child. And I did my research. I didn't look at Twitter or Facebook to see what I'm going to do for the future of my child. I actually did my homework, and it was astonishing, the people that told me not to get my kids vaccinated. And I was like, I thought I respected you for a point in time. Not anymore. Sorry. Vaccinate.
I think it's important for people to just understand the history real quick, that it came from a surgeon in Britain called Andrew Wakefield. He was a doctor, but he was pushing his own agenda. He wanted to have a homeopathic version of a vaccine instead of the MMR. So he was disbarred, discredited, debunked, and for some reason that false information from his own financial gains somehow gained steam. And even though it's been debunked study after study after study, people still believe it. So that's the reality, and you can do your own fact checking. We'll be right back.
This Thursday on Daily Blast Live.
Team, on your mark, get set, go!
Our hosts are getting savage in the wild for the ultimate camping competition.
We're going to be in trouble.
Hosted by Amazing Race and Survivor star Corinne Kaplan.
Go! Challenge on!
Who will brave the elements?
We're going right over there. Go over
and
there.
who will crash?
I feel miserable. I feel sick. I feel angry.
Don't miss Fully Clothed and Afraid. This Thursday on DBL.
Hi DBL Nation, Mike here with the DBL Digital team. How are you guys doing on this beautiful, wonderful Tuesday? We're here in Colorado, Denver, Colorado. It's absolutely gorgeous outside. We had snow last week, if you can imagine. So we're excited for this beautiful spring weather we're getting. And now I'm gonna discuss some rankings. So U.S. News just came out with their annual Best U.S. States to Live In ranking. And drum roll, please. Brrr. The best state to live in, according to this ranking, is Washington State. Now, this ranking compiled by U.S. News they covered 71 metrics in 8 different categories. Some of those categories were healthcare, economy, education in the various states, and Washington State all the way up in the Northeast won. So it's actually Northwest, sorry. Got my geography wrong there. Yeah, Northwest won, and that's pretty incredible. I'm super excited. Number 6 on the list is Maryland. I grew up in Maryland, so I'm excited to see Maryland in the top 10 rankings. And interestingly, number 10 behind Maryland was Colorado. So DBL's home here in Colorado ranked 10th best state to live in. And interestingly, Colorado was ranked in this ranking. They were ranked number 1 in the economy category. So that's pretty incredible. And then just to finish it off, the last state in this ranking was Louisiana. And Louisiana in most of these categories finished last or second to last. So let me know where you live in and where you think your state falls in this ranking list. See you guys.
Today's Watch and Win word is sunscreen.
Welcome back to DBL. Wedding planning can be stressful, and when you're on a budget, it can be even more challenging. That's why DBL teamed up with wedding planner Kristen Wilkins from The We Tie the Knot to help senior supervising producer Patty and her fiance Tom plan the wedding of their dreams.
We've been dating for 10 years.
Until I finally asked on Valentine's Day her to marry me.
I founded We Tie the Knots in 2011, so this is our 8th year of planning luxury high-end weddings all over Colorado and across the country.
The average wedding costs $37,000.
Yeah, it's money well spent. Great. Excellent.
I'm really excited to meet with Patty and Tom today because I really believe my experience in the high-end luxury market here in Colorado will actually help me give them some insider tips on how to save money for their wedding. So I brought you guys to Great Humphreys Mansion today to talk through affordable venue options. This particular mansion has everything you guys need. It comes with chairs, tables, sound, lighting, all included, and that's really gonna save you guys a lot of money in the long run. Another great affordable option that you could consider as well is a backyard wedding. A really great way to maximize your budget and really have the fun party that you want without the restrictions that a venue might put on you. I know you have a lot to think about, but I hope the next time I see you, you're hungry because we're gonna be talking about food.
We decided on a venue. It's very exciting.
So my number one concern now after having the venue is keeping everything within our budget.
But also that it's going to be the day that we always remembered.
And also the day that we always will remember.
Hey guys, so good to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Congrats on getting your venue. We've used about a quarter of our budget, and that's also why I brought you to our food truck rally today. A lot of caterers can charge anywhere from $60 to $150 a person. These guys will get you closer to $30 a person.
Excellent.
They're kind of cool. They look really funky and it's different, and I think it'll like make up for the fact that people have to throw away their own plates.
Thank you.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Already found the dessert?
Yes.
Well, that's great because that was next on my list to talk to you guys. I think if you guys aren't totally set on that picture moment, then let's think about some other dessert options for your guests.
What about booze?
You don't have to offer an entire stocked bar with every liquor available.
Okay.
You can really limit it to those 2 or 3 signature cocktails that are some of your favorites. All right, well, I'm really excited that we've conquered your venue. I think we're pretty close on making some decisions with food. Next up, we need the internet.
All right.
All right, y'all, it's time to get down to the nitty gritty. With the venue and food lockdown, we've got a little bit less than half your budget to work with.
Okay.
So no longer do you have to buy every single thing you want to wear on your wedding day. There's really great sites out there like Rent the Runway and Happily Ever Borrowed. There's a lot of great menswear rental sites as well. One of my favorites is the Black Tux. They have everything from suits to tuxedos and a lot of really fun high fashion looks in between. And they really are one of the most affordable too.
Thank you so much. I actually feel like we can actually do this now, so we really
Yeah.
appreciate it. I also think that we are gonna save a lot of money because of Kristen's help, and we can take all that savings and,
Put it in a retirement fund.
okay, I was gonna say honeymoon,
Invest it in the stock market.
agree to disagree.
I love them. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you.
Be right in my face.
I'm sorry, you guys. I went camping.
Lock it off.
Guys, I went camping and it was a very sad little bunny.
Yeah.
This one
We'll see on Thursday. You were tough though because honestly
I
I'd
was
mess
not.
with you, but you were legitimately really sick. I think you've missed the most consecutive time of any host.
I know.
Which
I
is
missed
'cause
3 days.
3 days, yeah.
And they had a party, you guys.
Jeff missed what, 2?
No, but Sam, there have been like 2 or 3, but they had a party at Erica Cobb's house.
I knew you were gonna be so upset about
And
that.
they had like drinks and food, and it was catered. And then Erica Cobb delivered gifts personalized
Tori,
to each.
Look what I'm wearing right now.
There's a key, isn't it?
There's
It's the
a
key on a chain
It
with
says
a word.
love that Erica gave me.
I got one, but I wasn't there.
She no-showed the party.
Oh yeah, right. I was so sick, and I was like, please, please. Anyway, my word
That's
was.
when I knew you were sick. Is when you didn't go to
Yeah,
the party. I
for
was
sure.
like,
Everybody knew
Tori
it was
has
real.
FOMO for real,
FOMO,
and
fear of
like she
missing
would
out.
never miss anything like that. So
I was painful.
right.
So I got fearlessness. No wait, fearless?
Maybe if you were there, you would.
Wait,
know.
hold on. Am I supposed to be fearless or fearlessness?
You got
Eh,
FOMO. You
Erica.
got fear of missing out.
Erica, did I
What
get
was
fearless?
Tori's key?
Fearless
Tori's
or,
key say?
or fearlessness?
Her
Fearlessness seems along to put on the key.
Fearless.
Gotta
Okay.
be fearless.
Okay. So anyway, I'm trying to be fearless about not being fear of missing out.
Okay, and first of all, speaking of fearless, talk about your sister.
Oh my God, I just got the clip from Kelly. My sister, who watches the show all the time, I did a special shout out. I'm leaving Thursday to go to her graduation.
More time off, huh?
Oh no! Wow, that one hurt.
Katie.
We love you,
Time
Katie.
well spent.
And she's. I don't want to go into it all, but she struggled in a time before people talked about gap year to be trendy. And she struggled before anybody thought it was okay to take some time off. And she made it, and she's graduating summa cum laude. And I'm so proud of her. So I'm going to Boston. I have an air horn. I have a sign. I'm going to be like that person.
Now, are they? If they say hold your applause to the end, are you still gonna?
I'm gonna go nuts for her because can I be honest? I'm a bit of a loud person, okay?
What?
I know, shocker. And I just want my sister I overtook a lot. And this is her time. This is her time. And she deserves it. And she studied and she worked and she went online. She went to different colleges. She found her own path. And now everyone thinks that's trendy. Well, she did it before it was cool. So bravo, Katie. I love you.
I know it's a walk-off moment.
Sorry that- yeah.
Thanks, guys.
We love sharing your comments. Tori.
Well, Veronica says, I love your show. So many great and spirited debates. That's a nice way of saying it. Lots of duality of thought. Thank you very much for writing in. And Billy says, I hope my girlfriend saw that wedding budget story.
Ooh, yeah.
It was a good one.
Yeah, and also pick an off day, right? Picking an off day. I picked Halloween.
Halloween, yeah.
And I saved buku bucks.
That's right. Buku.
Buku.
What?
Boo. Halloween.
Oh, good one. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Hi there, DBL Nation. Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital team. I bet y'all are all getting pumped for Thursday. You know why? Because that's when we're airing our DBL camping special. I'm so excited about it. It is very hush-hush around here. Nobody knows who won. Is it Jeff and Al or Tori and Sam? All you have to do to win an awesome Outdoor Geeks gift card is go to our website, www.dailyblastlive.com/sweepstakes. So yeah, again, you win a gift card from Outdoor Geeks, but you have to do this fast because our contest ends at 5 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. That's 7 p.m. Eastern. Get on there and pick who you think will win. Is it going to be, again, Jeff and Al or Tori and Sam? If you pick right, we're going to select randomly a winner from the right choice, and then you get to win that awesome gift card. But I want to know your comments. We were watching the teas, and Tori, as you know, was very sick. Do you think that will make them automatically not win? Or do you think Tori was like, I want to win this so bad so I can get out of here and go back to sleep? And guys, don't think this was any tricks. They stayed the night there. Chris Morris, my boyfriend, he was gone as well, spending the night there. So they were there, you guys. This was not like a sneak attack. This is a real thing. They had to stay the night in 26-degree weather. Apparently the tents were summer tents instead of winter tents, so it's gonna be exciting. Thursday, don't miss it, DBL special, the camping trip, fully clothed and afraid this Thursday. See you then, bye.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
You think this hair just naturally stays like this?
DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Tuesday, May 14th. We're live and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. And right now I'm here with Erica, Tori, and Al. I'm Jeff. Let's get to it, guys. We are getting our first glimpse at the Beverly Hills 90210 reboot and a new teaser trailer. And there's a familiar tune you're just listening to right now that's giving everyone the feels. Plus, our very own Tori Shulman talks with Happy Days star Marion Ross. The classic TV legend gets candid about the cast member she didn't get along with for years. All of that in minutes. But first, guys, to a very serious story. A new video of an officer-involved shooting last night in Texas is going viral today. A Houston police officer shot and killed a 44-year-old woman who claimed she was pregnant. This followed an altercation with the officer after he tried to arrest her. The whole thing was caught on a cell phone camera, and a warning to our viewers, we edited the graphic video, but you will still hear the gunshots. I told you that was tough to watch, but there are reports that the woman suffered from mental health issues and may not have been pregnant either. So, guys, we're dealing with information that we have, just like everyone else at home right now. What do you guys, what's your take on this?
Well, my immediate thought was there is a video going viral right now of an altercation between a young black kid and a police officer, and his white friend who's about the same age gets involved to try to protect his friend. And the way that the police officer speaks to the young black child as opposed to the white child who is physically trying to intervene where the young black child wasn't is I think, pretty telling. I think anytime you have a situation where there's an other for any reason, then it takes away your sense of empathy. And that's the reason why people can see other people and not really see the humanity in them. Everyone always wants to talk about compliance, and I've talked about this before, the idea of what happens when you're in a very heightened situation and you're fearing for your safety. One thing that I know to be quite true is I went to high school with a young lady 2 years ago, was in a situation with the police officers, and I've watched this video over and over myself, because they keep telling her to comply and to put her hands at a certain place, but 2 of the officers are still swatting her with the baton. And I wonder how I would, being the same stature, same age, if I would be in my mind to put my hands where they're supposed to be, or if I would be in a defensive position in order to protect my body that's being battered. So when we have these conversations, I always want to think about the idea that maybe we should talk about patrolling in areas or being in areas where you don't have that sense of other, because how do you differentiate between those two in very heightened situations?
Yeah, and Erica, I've learned so much from you on the panel. Tori's got, we're live. She's got a little cough. She's going to go cough it out. And I've learned so much from you. I've learned so much from Al. And I agree with everything you said, Erica. Believe me, and I can't even begin to tell you, I haven't gone through any of that. You know what I mean? When it comes to the compliance, I watch this new show called Body Cam, you know, and it's the police officers with their body cam, and they show what they go through on a daily basis. It's an amazing show, and it just gives you an inside look on what they go through. They seem to be fair with everyone on the show. There's people of all different races on the show. It just gives you an inside peek of what the police officers do on a daily basis, but that's not saying that there aren't a few bad police officers, that aren't a few people that got taken advantage of, or in this instance, killed.
Right, and obviously, anytime we see a video like this, you know, there is a racial dynamic because of what we've seen over the last couple of years that we've seen, but we've known this is going on for years. What I've always said is I always like to look to other countries. I looked, and in 2016, the total police department in the entire country of Great Britain discharged their firearms 7 bullets. Of every police officer that carried a gun, they shot 7 bullets in that entire country. That's 2 more than that man did right there. If this is an equal playing field, which I would agree most people would say it's unequal, then we at least need to go through some kind of restraining order, because restructuring, because when you have somebody that's saying, if you have a gun, a lot of people will use it. And when you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So if we figure out other ways to retrain the situation, I don't think anybody watching this, the 3 of us sitting coughing Tori back there, ever would think that this woman needed to be killed. There was another way to handle this, so let's figure this out
and you're
immediately.
Right. And I'm glad you brought that statistic, because it deals more than just race. There's mental health involved. There's police training involved. There's so many other things involved that we need to look at as a society of why this continues to happen. Right. In other countries, it does not.
And Jeff, think about this, not to get this off of the racial track at all, but in the last 2 weeks, Erica, what stories have we covered? We've covered a police shooting. We've covered a school shooting. We've covered a drunken bar shooting. What's the common denominator in all these things? There are guns around, and they're human beings. Human beings are unpredictable and can make the wrong decision.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, you're hearing in the background, if you do hear that, Tori is actually choking on something, but we're live, so we can't cut. We just have to go to the next story. That's how we do it here at DBL, because we do have some breaking news from Hollywood about the death of a well-known comedian. Let's get over to Raquel Villanueva with news at the moment.
That's right, Jeff. Tim Conway has passed away this morning at the age of 85. He's best known for his work on The Carol Burnett Show, and she described him as an on-set prankster and just released a statement saying, "I'm heartbroken. He was 1 in a million, not only as a brilliant comedian, but as a loving human being. I cherish the times we had together, both on the screen and off. He'll be in my heart forever." He even went on to have his own sitcom. His reps say he had been battling a long illness. Now Conway is survived by his wife and 7 children.
Thank you so much, Raquel. Wow. I mean, my first ever person that I could think of comedy was Tim Conway.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I remember watching that with my parents, and just the way he was in his comedy on the Carol Burnett Show, and how he'd improvise, and then everybody else around him would crack and break. It's kind of like, when I look at Jimmy Fallon modern day, I think of Tim Conway back in the day.
What a great analogy.
Yeah, wow, what a great man. What a great man. All right, guys, let's get this last story. And Tiger Woods is being sued right now in a wrongful death lawsuit. The family of a man who died in a drunk driving accident says that Tiger Woods and his girlfriend should have stopped their son from drinking too much and driving. 24-year-old Nicholas Mez Berger was a bartender at Tiger Woods' restaurant in Florida, and according to reports, he finished his shift at the restaurant at 3 p.m. But then he started drinking at the bar. He died later that day with a blood alcohol level 3 times the legal limit. The suit alleges that employees knew he struggled with alcohol, attended AA meetings, but still overserved him. Today, Tiger called the death sad and said it was a terrible ending at a press conference as well. I don't know how I feel about this one.
Yeah, I worked at bars and nightclubs for quite some time, and honestly, without trying to sound insensitive, this is pretty much par for the course.
Yes.
People get off of their shift.
They're called shift drinks.
Yeah, they get off their shift and they have drinks. And sometimes it's a shift drink. Sometimes it's you're drinking until the middle of the night because you likely can drink for free where you work. I think it's hard to say that it's Tiger Woods' fault or that it's someone who struggled with alcoholism when, just to be clear and honest about it, a lot of people who work at bar and restaurants struggle with alcoholism.
Yeah, much so.
And I mean, I'll be totally honest. I worked at restaurants my whole life. I've had tons of shift drinks, but when I'm with my manager, whoever I'm drinking with, I'm like, man, I had too many. I can't believe I stayed this long. We get a cab. We leave our car there and pick it up the next day when we go to work. There's the word responsibility and accountability that we don't have in this country anymore. I don't want to say the whole world, but why is this Tiger Woods' fault?
Right. Right.
Because he's a target and he has money?
Well, it's that, and it's dram shop. But at the end of the day, I think it's an important thing for people to realize, because when you're dealing with the social aspect, and once that shift is over, you're talking about a social thing. Yeah. That you do have to have some accountability for each other for that reason, because someone isn't thinking clearly. You have to step up because you don't want something to happen. But is it a legal thing? I'm not so sure.
You're right. I don't know the law either. Let's talk about it in the break, and we're going to give you an update on Tori Shulman as well. DBL is live. We'll bring you breaking news as soon as it happens. Coming up, Nike is being slammed over its alleged bias against pregnant athletes. Do expectant mothers have it tougher? Then our very own Tori Shulman talks with Happy Days star Marion Ross. The classic TV legend reveals the cast member she did not get along with for years. And you, the viewer, are the fifth host. More and more schools are ditching valedictorians because they say the tradition promotes unhealthy competition. What do you guys think? Your comments next.
This Thursday on Daily Blast Live.
Team, on your mark, get set, go!
Our hosts are getting savage in the wild for the ultimate camping competition.
We're going to be in trouble.
Hosted by Amazing Race and Survivor star Corinne Kaplan.
Go! Challenge is on! This way.
Who will brave the elements?
We're going right over there. Go over there.
Who will crash?
I feel miserable. I feel sick. I feel angry.
Don't miss Fully Clothed and Afraid. This Thursday on DBL.
Kelly Schubert here with the DBL digital team. Tori is okay. She was just having a little bit of a coughing attack, from that cold she has. I think we're going to go to the desk and talk to them. But first, I want to tell you about Thursday. We've got our Fully Clothed and Afraid contest. It is finally airing. That's after the camping trip that was this weekend. Tori did say she was miserable, but let's go talk to Jeff about this. Come on over. Hey, Big Jeff.
And she'll be back.
I like referencing it.
You should.
Yeah. Hey, Big Jeff.
Hey, what's up, girl?
We're just telling them about the camping trip that's going to air Fully Clothed and Afraid this Thursday. Are you excited?
Yes, I'm very excited.
You know what I told DBL Nation? I told them you guys are all being really hush-hush, which is kind of unnerving for me. I got to know who won.
We say it's a quiet confidence, Kelly.
Yeah, and definitely get on our Instagram story and make that slider. Vote for who you think is going to win.
Is Erica low?
Most people are saying Jeff and Al, but hey, I think the girls may come out, the two crazy blondes, they may come out and just win it all.
I'm telling you, you guys are going to be excited when you see this.
Hey, wait, it smells like Christmas in here. Do you smell that? It does. It smells like Christmas. Do you drink that every day?
No, I had like a little something in my throat this morning. No, it was just like a little something, but I had the tea. It's better. Tori is having an actual
Yeah,
Coughing
a coughing
attack?
attack is what I'm
Is that what
calling
it's
it.
called?
I don't know. It's
Is
a
that the
coughing
legal
attack.
term?
She just keeps coughing, poor thing. We got her some cough drops. We got her some honey. We got her some water. So hopefully she'll be back soon.
Do we get her another room to go to?
She was hurtled over. We weren't gonna make her move. She was having, yeah,
Hurtled over?
she was like hurtled
That's
over.
huddle.
Is that a word?
Hurdled
is
is a word, but not the word we would
Huddled
use there.
over. Something you jump. Huddled over?
Encyclopedia is a word. We don't want to use
Huddled
that.
over?
Doubled over.
Doubled over? That's
Yeah, I think
what
it's doubled over.
Punched over. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
Thanks,
hunched
guys.
over.
You guys are always keeping me accurate. I love that.
Got like a hurdle of.
That's what we do up here.
Deviation.
Whenever somebody slips, we just jump right on them.
That's the best, though. I'd rather
Watch
rather
me
you
say
tell me that than you say something
valedictorian.
wrong. Because I definitely said hurtled over the whole time. This Thursday, Fully Clothed and Afraid. Bye.
Valedictorian.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. A high school in Ohio is the latest school to get rid of the valedictorian tradition at graduation. The superintendent says this is an attempt to improve the mental health of students after finding patterns of anxiety, depression, and suicide. Students will now be recognized for their performance in the class rather than their class rank. So DBL Nation, should high schools get rid of the valedictorian?
All right, Jeff, that's a good one. Nance from Facebook. Is it Nancy?
Nance.
Nance, okay, I like that. Nance from Facebook says high school is still a coddling environment. Its only real purpose is to help our kids get into college, which is where challenges like valedictorian really matter. I completely agree. I think putting valedictorian on your resume makes it stand out. And we've just seen with all the Lori Loughlin stuff how difficult it is to get into upper tier schools. And that the V word on there is very important. So I would just say keep it. People work hard, they should be acknowledged.
Patty from Facebook says, how about blinkies and pacifiers while they're at it? They'll need them the first time they are turned down on a job interview. Crazy. My 16-year-old son graduated as valedictorian. It sure has helped him. Well, Patty, congratulations to your 16-year-old son, and I think that you probably share a sentiment with my parents as well. My parents were getting us ready for the struggle we call life, and the idea of competition is a part of that. So it's not just enough to be good in school. It's not just enough to have extracurricular activities. You also must be a solid person and a person of value. So I think it's important to start children off young, understanding that they'll have to be juggling all of these responsibilities in order to truly compete in the real world.
All right, Marty from Facebook says valedictorian is a measure of which student doesn't have to work a job and can afford a private tutor. It's not an award of hard work, it's an award of privilege. Ooh. Marty, I'm gonna give you a hug. You need a hug. I'm gonna give you a hug. I don't think that's the case at all. Thank you for writing in. I think valedictorian is hard work, just like athlete of the year is hard work, just like anything else is hard work, any club that you're in high school, anything else. If you work hard on it, it's an incentive for other people to work harder to get in that position that you're at. Everything that I've failed at in my life is the reason I succeeded later on because of that. So I'm all for that. It might not be how you're going to teach your students, I guess if you're a teacher, or kids. I'm going to teach my kids that way, that failing's not bad. It's a lesson for you. You go get that W later.
That's right.
There's the W for you. Coming up on DBL, are you getting married? How about your daughter or granddaughter? We'll tell you 3 ways you can get the most bang for your buck. And classic TV stars, where are they now? Happy Days Marion Ross spills the tea on her castmates.
He apparently wanted somebody else for the part.
Ooh, so who's she talking about? That was Willis. Find out when we come back.
Hey DBL Nation, welcome to yet another break here of Daily Blast Live. This story is trending on ET Online. It's between George Clooney and Ben Affleck. George Clooney actually told him not to accept the Batman role back in 2012. They were filming a film together and Ben Affleck was producing on it. And he specifically, George Clooney specifically said, like, hey man, don't take this role because the Batman role that George Clooney took, apparently it kind of messed his career up, according to an interview he did with The Hollywood Reporter. Really was not good for his career. And of course, the Batman movie I'm talking about, Batman and Robin, I feel like any Batman fan can really agree with me. Not a good Batman movie, but I still think it's a great opportunity to be a superhero, especially in this age of superhero movies we're in. Avengers Endgame just wrapped up. Aquaman did really good back in December. Into the Spider-Verse did really good in November. We've had some great, stellar superhero films come in the last 6 months. So I think for Ben to take that role, it was a good idea for his career because this is such a booming genre right now. Batfleck. Let me know what you guys think about him. He was in both Batman vs. Superman, Ben Affleck I'm talking about, as Batman, was in both Batman vs. Superman and Justice League. Justice League was a little icy, and people didn't like his Batman that much, but then there's another side that did like his Batman. So guys, write us in and let us know what you thought about Ben as Batman and who could be the next one. We'll see you next break.
Welcome back to DBL. When you think about classic TV moms, there is no doubt Mrs. C from Happy Days comes to mind. Marion Ross played that lovable character for 11 seasons. From there, she kept acting, taking on tons of roles until her recent retirement. Ross, who is now 90 years old, even wrote a book detailing the ups and downs of life in showbiz. I had the complete honor of sitting down with the iconic actress at the Hollywood Museum in Los Angeles in today's edition of Classic Stars. Where are they now? We are here with the one, the only Mom, Marion Ross. Hello, Marion. Thank you for being here. Thank you for
Well, I raised you all,
Yes.
didn't I? Yeah.
Yes, you did. Now, you were the TV mom everyone wanted, Mrs. C. How does it feel that you had such a big impact on so many people?
I'm so used to it now. It feels very natural.
Now, you recently wrote a book about your life. You're very candid in the book because it's you just being real. You actually said you didn't first get along with Tom Bosley right away.
No, Tom didn't like me, and he apparently wanted somebody else for the part. I just had to bite the bullet and just put up with it. And that went on for years.
Wow. Happy Days was initially supposed to be centered around Ron Howard's character, Richie, but Fonzie became the center of the show. Was there friction or jealousy when that switch happened, or no?
Both of them were very intelligent, well-educated, smart, and they handled it like gentlemen.
Sorry to take the room down a little bit, but Erin Moran, I want to just bring up really quickly, your dear co-star of Happy Days who died of cancer in 2017.
Yeah.
What was Erin like, and what was like to say goodbye to her?
So cute, talented, and it's a tragedy.
You've worked with some of the greats, let's be honest. We've had Audrey Hepburn, Cary Grant, Clark Gable. So I'm gonna show you a couple of photos. First up, we're gonna do this one. Now this is the Lone Ranger.
Oh, it is the
from
Lone Ranger.
1954. So tell me about that. Do you remember
Yeah,
this?
my line was, who was that masked man?
Bravo! Bravo! That's amazing.
And I never got to thank him.
I'm gonna show you this one. Ready? Tell me about this. This is Perry Mason, 1959.
You can see what a serious young actress I was.
Yes. You've just retired, am I right?
Yes.
Okay, you're how old?
Oh, 90.
Look at this, everybody. This is incredible.
Yeah.
Now, you've worked on so many things that each generation knows you for something differently, right? What inspired you to keep working until almost 90 years old?
Oh, because I am an actress.
Yeah.
I don't get jealous anymore, but I used to be able to look at somebody else doing something and just die.
That's me.
That's
me.
Die.
I know that's
I
feeling.
want to do it.
So there was a competitive drive.
Very competitive.
Wow. When people are in our DBL Nation have doubts about themselves and they're in a down period, is there any good maternal advice you'd want to give us?
Hope, and you can be anything.
You're my kind of gal. Mrs. C, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you. I had a good time.
It was so good. She is adorable. Marion Ross's book, My Days, Happy and Otherwise, is available now. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought
Hope
to you.
you're really good. It is Tuesday. Yes. So today's fifth host is all about valedictorian in schools. I'm presuming in your colleges. Now in England, we do not have that. I know what it means. It's like the highest achiever, the highest grader, the kid that's got the most amazing score at school. So I know what it means, but I had to ask what it meant because we don't have that title in England. And then from what I learned, it's the child or young adult who gets that grade or achievement can then go on to talk at the graduation and give a speech. Now, in England, we don't have that. I personally think, I can see both sides. I can see why it's a good incentive to work really hard and try and get those grades, but we have to be realistic here. There's one kid per school, right? And there's thousands of children that go to a school. And I just feel as though there's a lot of kids that could get really disappointed. And I saw there was some studies and there was a lot of data that suggested that kids can get depression and anxiety and just feel like they're not good enough because they'll never achieve that standard. And I think that's really sad. And I think it's great that we celebrate children or young adults that do hit those high academic standards. But I don't know if there should just be one student that gets that title. So if it was me, I would rather hear from students that maybe took the course a few times and failed and had an inspirational story on like how they eventually graduated or how they passed. Or maybe kids that took them longer to learn the subjects that they needed to. I think that's more inspirational to me personally than someone who's always got like A star because they're just so bright. I mean, I wish I was that bright, but I would have never have got that title at school. So, you know, I feel for the other kids in this situation because those other kids would have been me. In England, when you're at secondary school, which is ages 11 to 16, and primary school, which ends obviously when you're 11, you get certificate. There are 3 certificates that anyone can get. One is for attendance. So if you attend school every day, you don't have a sick day, you get a certificate, which is obviously you either get it or you don't. One is for getting kind of across the board from all your teachers, like a general, not you were the best, but you tried really hard. And I think the other one might be for friendliness and kindness. I'll have to double check because it was a long time since I was there. But they're just nice little rewards that you get once a term or, you know, at the end of the school year. And I think that's like a nice pat on the back. And also when we left our secondary school, which is 16, which I know you guys don't do because you guys go to college and stuff then, but they also had like a ballot, a vote, where you can vote for, we had silly things like Romeo and Juliet, you know, like the high school sweethearts, or the person who we think would be a great, I'll use the word president, things like that. So nice little things that the classmates could award each other, and I think that is nicer and more personal.
Today's watch and win word is sunscreen.
Welcome back to DBL. Today's Heart Threads is all about community. Watch how a boy took matters into his own hands when it came to potholes in his neighborhood.
This 12-year-old isn't waiting on anyone to fix his street. After Monty Scott's mom damaged her car on a pothole, he decided to do something about it. He took dirt from his family's backyard and filled in potholes on his street.
I didn't want people like messing up their cars like my mom did.
Monty didn't tell anyone about his good deed, but someone captured it on video and posted it on social media. That's how Monty's mom found out.
That's just the type of kid he is. When he sees there's a problem or a need and he thinks he can fix it, he'll try to fix it.
Monty has filled in 15 potholes on his street, and he doesn't plan on stopping.
A lot of us keep doing it to keep helping the community out.
I think every community needs a Monty.
Yes.
I think they have them. They're just older now and they're doing different things, but I think the genesis starts with potholes, and next thing you know, you're like, who's this guy running the community center? It's Monty at 35.
True.
Very cool. What a
Mayor
great
Monty,
kid.
maybe. Mayor Monty in the future.
There we go.
Never know. It's got a nice ring to it, Monty. Big things ahead of you, buddy. All right, guys, if you're leaving us right now, you can still watch us live on Facebook and YouTube. Here's what's coming up next on Daily Blast Live.
Nike's motto may be dream crazier, but try telling that to a pregnant athlete. The new article that slams Nike over its alleged treatment of expectant moms. Then, back to Beverly Hills. We've got a sneak peek ahead of the highly anticipated 90210 reboot. And flat earthers, anti-vaxxers, climate change deniers? What's next? Is there a war on science in America? DBL explores the issue when we come back.
So T.I. and Tiny, Friends and Family Hustle is all about handling fame and balancing life with your loved ones. And we caught up with Toya Wright and her daughter, Reginae Carter, to talk about this new season. And here's what you can expect.
Hi, Raquel. I can honestly say yes to that. Like, I've done reality shows in the past, and I would say that this one is totally different because, you know, this show is, it focused on building families up. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I admire about the production company and the whole show, you know, the cast and everything. You know, we have something going on. It's like things that are really going on in our lives, and we're always there for each other, and it's just a positive show all around. So make sure you tune in and watch it and see, you know, the crazy times we have, the fun times, the sad times. You know, this season is kind of like an emotional roller coaster, I will say that. I think you can connect to the show because it's a real family show, something that you can all relate to. I'm sure if you can't relate to me, you can relate to something T.I. and Tiny may be going through, something Monica may be going through, something LaToya may be going through. The teens can relate to Reginae, Zanique, Damani, Deja, you know. I feel like it's somebody on that show that you will identify with, and it can inspire and help you get through your situation. You know, it's a really, really good family TV show, and I think it was much needed. We would like to add, make sure you locked in to VH1 on Monday nights. The Family Hustle will be in your house. We're back. Season 2, so tune in.
Always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
You think this hair just naturally stays like this?
DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. We are live, and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. In case you guys were watching the last half hour and still with us, Tori is still having a coughing attack in the lobby, but she's good. She's drinking water. It's only when she talks. Hence, she's not on the panel.
Right.
So I think we're going to give her this
problem
segment
on a talk show.
Yeah, it is a problem.
She does sign really well, though.
Yes, she does.
Well, we hope she gets better, and she is. All right, guys, right now, Olympic runner Alicia Montano is making a big statement. In a piece for the New York Times, she's calling out Nike for their policies on female athletes, specifically moms. But why Nike? Alicia is sponsored by, or I should say was sponsored by the company until she got pregnant. She says they were going to pause her contract until she got back to running. So she left Nike, obviously. And on top of that, the U.S. Olympic Committee told her they would take away her health insurance if she didn't stay at the top of her game. So she ran a race, 8 months pregnant. These are the pictures right there in 2014. But that's not all. Let's watch.
I taped my abs together because they were torn apart. I wore a brace as I'd go and I'd lift to come back within their time frame that they were expected of me. They weren't sure if I was going to be able to return after my pregnancy. I proved them wrong. I won a national championships at 6 months postpartum. I won another national championship at 10 months postpartum while still nursing my baby girl.
As if I didn't think mothers were already strong enough. And the New York Times reports that in a Nike contract shared with them says, quote, the company has the right to reduce an athlete's pay for any reason if they don't meet a specific performance threshold. And they report there are no exceptions for pregnancy, so we have a lot to say about this, but DBL Nation, we want to hear from you as well. Do you think women are penalized for having kids? Head to dblvote.com and weigh in right now. This is amazing. I can't believe I haven't heard about this story, first of all, but yes.
No, it is amazing. And I'm glad that she's taking an opportunity to really have people understand the pressures, because I think it's very difficult for people not to, or for people to be honest about what we did and did not understand even a year ago. Everybody's so woke that we are not willing to say that, you know, a couple years ago we might have had a different position on some of the stances that we talk about today. We may not have felt the same way. So I just want to say, for her to come out is a really big deal, because I think that it's making people look at things differently, especially Nike, who writes this. Nike is proud to sponsor, this just came out, thousands of female athletes. As is common practice in our industry, our agreements do include performance-based payment reductions. Historically, a few female athletes had performance-based reductions applied. We recognize that there was inconsistency in our approach across different sports, and in 2018, we standardized our approach across all sports so that no female athlete is penalized financially for pregnancy. So that means that every female athlete prior to 2018, before we all became so woke to be outraged by it, had been penalized. And those are the people who are the martyrs and the pioneers.
That's right. And Erica, just, you know, this is going to seem like a weird analogy, but you think about yesterday we talked about interracial marriage and how it was illegal only 52 years ago. And like when you look at a 52-year-old, you don't go, wow, I feel like I'm looking in the windows of the past. But you forget that we're getting better in real time, Jeff.
Right.
And Nike saw this and was like, that's super embarrassing. When Under Armour didn't have the Steph Curry shoe available in women's, they were like, this is super embarrassing. But you know what? They fixed it. So good on Nike. It's sad that it's always the pioneers that suffer the most, Erica, and those people should be recognized. But I do want to say, when somebody does the right thing, and Nike did the right thing, it shouldn't have taken to 2018, but it did, and we're going to move forward. And hopefully we can show some retribution to those that paved the way.
And Alicia, whew, what a G.
And first of all, she didn't win those. She smoked those girls. Yeah. Those are like track and field, to see like a couple steps in between. Those are world-class athletes, and she was up by 4 with her abs tape. So
good on her.
To go back to the whole thing about competition, this is why competition matters, because if you don't have to compete, your teeth will not be sharpened and you won't be a competitive human being. This is what happens when people tell you no.
That's right.
And let's see our DBL Nation. They agree with everybody. 75% say yes, they are penalized for having children. All right, so we're on the same page here. Let's see if we're on the same page about this next one. The cast of 90210 is back.
Yes.
Check out this new teaser. BH 90210 premieres August 7th on Fox. Where are we partying?
Erica's got a nice new house that we had to check out. First of all, I just look for any excuse to go to Erica's house. So I'm like, yeah, 90210, let's do it.
So not a fan.
But I could because it looks like this is going to be a different show.
No, it's not, Al. Come on.
It's going to be in high school, Jeff. I'm Jeff. Get myself in trouble. Erica, it's not going to be the same show. They're not going to be in high school.
I love your fake enthusiasm. That was super cute.
Thank you.
No, we aren't really super excited about this. Like, I mean, come on. It's going to be a reach. It's going to be a reach.
It's going to be a reach.
But we'll watch it. We'll watch it, and maybe I'll even have a viewing party at my house.
I would definitely watch it.
It is.
That's it. It's official. Someone cut this out for us when August comes.
I was really excited about the way they decided to do the promo.
Yeah.
That was really cute.
Because everyone remembers that song, even if you're not a fan. All right, let's get this last story, and we have to wish. Oh, we're going to play it again? Why not?
I also want to know it's her actual kitchen.
It might be.
I love those choices.
That tells
Dark.
That toast was a little burnt for me. I'm just saying.
A little overdone.
All right, we have to wish a happy belated birthday to Lena Dunham. She turned 33 yesterday, and now we're getting some photos from her big birthday bash. Check this out. Brad Pitt was there, but this has us wondering, do birthdays need to be a big affair every single year? 33, that's not a big one.
Embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Okay, this is coming from two guys who just want to have a 90210 party at my house.
But it goes along my theory. Anything with a 0 at the end of it is a party.
Oh my God!
That's why you don't come at me. Because you can have 30, 40, 50, 60. I'm 100.
No.
I'm all for that. You can have a small one on the 5s, 35, 45. But 33 is a random. That's a happy hour. That's a see me in happy hour.
It's not random. First of all, you're talking about someone who has been very accomplished. It gets to a point where you stop celebrating. There's a need to celebrate, and I think you should celebrate every chance around the sun that you get and allow people to come and celebrate you and really honor you for that
How
year.
benevolent. Oh, come celebrate me.
No, I'm not saying you're saying come celebrate.
That's what you're saying.
I feel like as a friend, or a family member, it is my honor to come and celebrate you. I'm not telling you to come celebrate me.
I'm with you, Al. 40. You got to do it every decade on the 40s, especially after 21.
Well, just to be clear about it, you will not be getting invitations to my 39th or my husband's 38th next year.
No. We're definitely coming to those. All right, any Angelina Jolie fans here?
Yes.
Ooh, they're more excited about the birthday thing. Well, get excited because she's starring in a new sequel. Stephanie Jones has a story, and it's coming in hot.
We first saw Angelina Jolie transform herself into the fierce Maleficent in the first movie released in 2014, but she's back and looking more wicked than ever in the sequel trailer for Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. She stars alongside Michelle Pfeiffer, who plays Queen Ingrid, and it looks so good. You don't want to miss this.
There are many who prey on the innocent. I'm sure your kind would agree. If I didn't know better, I'd say you were making a threat. Well, do you? Do I what? Know better.
Must be a season of
Angelina was also one of the producers on the film, which will be hitting theaters on October the 18th.
I'm excited about this.
Are you?
The first one, I wasn't expecting to be so into it. I kind of just fell into it.
It was big,
It
Jeff.
was amazing.
Yeah, you see, I didn't realize how big it was till Halloween. I saw the little girl dressed up as.
Yes.
I was like, who are you?
Maleficent.
I was right.
All right.
See, I didn't even say it because I messed that up.
But you said benevolent.
I got that.
You got that one out. There you go. Coming up on DBL, our wedding series continues with ways to find the best deals on the venue, food, and clothing. Tips no bride could afford to miss. I thought you had to tip somebody too. That's where I was going. And there's a modern day war on science with the flat earth movement gaining steam. Some say yes. We'll debate next.
This Memorial Day, DBL wants to honor the fallen. Tell us about your beloved service member who paid the ultimate sacrifice. And send in a candid photo. DBL will share their story on air the week leading up to Memorial Day, so that it may never be forgotten.
Right after the first game? I want to wait. Megan, our trusty producer's up here. I want, I think that birthdays are the big ones are the zeros and the middle ones are the 5s.
I don't.
Is that the only
You're
thing?
alive. You could be gone tomorrow. Gone tomorrow. Every single year is an important one.
I agree. I think sometimes, I think there's a difference too. As you get older, like you want to get your people together and all of that. But I treat birthdays like I treat a family function. Like it's more about, one, if I'm throwing a party for someone, it's honoring that person and honoring the people who came to celebrate that person. So it's more of like them coming and me hosting them, not about like the cake and ice cream and all of that stuff. Although you can have some fabulous cake and ice cream, but it's about the idea that this person, it's their special day, and these are their special people, and everybody should be honored that day. I think it's a really big thing. Yes.
See, now I will give some credence to that.
Meg,
what I will say is I think that the reason Jeff and I I think as men get older, we get more curmudgeon-y.
Yes.
And so like
It's
guys
true.
are just like, I don't want to do that. And so, but then once you get there, like, I'd be like, oh, don't throw a party for me. And then like, as I pulled up and saw the cars, I'm like, thank you for throwing a party.
Yeah.
For me.
Well,
So, yeah.
that's what happened with my husband this year. I threw a big party last year, and he was like, I just don't want to have plans this year, which I completely understand. I was a little like, oh, but it's your decision, it's your day. But I swear, when Saturday rolled around and his birthday was over, he wanted that Tony Awards 2019. He really did.
And tell everybody what the Tony Awards are.
Oh, the Tony Awards are it's the birthday party theme that I throw for my husband.
That's amazing.
There's trophies and stuff.
You know what happens for me? Oh, maybe better that we're running out of time. Because I'm like, listen, I don't want to do anything. And then we don't do anything. And then it's my wife's birthday. And they're like, what are we doing? I'm like, the same thing we did for mine. Nothing.
We're giving away a Daytime Emmy gift bag to one lucky member of DBL Nation. Send us a video of your best award acceptance speech to dailyblastlive.com/Emmys. Our favorite submission is taking home this show-stopping prize, worth more than $14,000. So what are you waiting for? Watch, play, and win.
Welcome back to DBL. We live in a very polarizing time. Society is so divided that some of us don't believe in science at all anymore, or to begin with. Bill Nye, the science guy, you know, the upbeat TV scientist from the 90s, well, he's fed up with the climate change debate. Check him out on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver.
The planet's on fire. There are a lot of things we could do to put it out. Are any of them free? No, of course not. Nothing's free, you idiots. Grow the up. You're not children anymore. I didn't mind explaining photosynthesis to you when you were 12, but you're adults now, and this is an actual crisis.
The denial of science is hitting high, and facts don't seem to persuade the public persona anymore. I think Bill Nye is onto something here. Sometimes you have to talk to people like this to get them to understand something.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And people, it's almost like by being provocative about it, then more people are paying attention. But I do think it's important to at least acknowledge some other alternative theories other than like you're stupid and I'm not type theories, which is what gets thrown around social media. I had a conversation with my father-in-law last week, and he's a geologist, and it wasn't so much about the concept of climate change, it was the reasons why people might feel compelled to say that climate change doesn't exist or have alternate theories as to why it exists. So anytime I hear someone's opinion about anything, I'm always trying to think of their level of understanding and where they're coming from. I personally believe climate change is a real thing.
Right, and you know what, I had the same question other people did that didn't believe it. I'm like, well, how do we know? There's been climate changes. We used to be Pangea and all one world. Things change. But then when you do your research, you watch a couple documentaries, again, do your research, I want to say, you come up with a different opinion. So like Erica said, maybe see what the other side's talking about instead of just being like, I hate you and I hate you. Well, that would be crazy in itself. All right, guys, just today, scientists announced levels of carbon dioxide that were last seen on the Earth, get this, 3 million years ago. Before humans even existed, it's that gas that's trapping heat in our atmosphere, causing the Earth to warm. Yet the debate over whether climate change is still real, and it still continues. That's kind of what I was talking about. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know about that. I thought maybe sometimes it's record-breaking or sometimes it's not. But it's real, and it's out there.
All right, let's get to this last one, because I'm really interested in this one.
All right, Al, take a look at this. It's the very first image of Earth from space taken on August 23rd, 1966. Fast forward to now, and flat Earth conventions pop up all over the country where people truly believe the Earth is a disk and that Antarctica surrounds the oceans and that the government and NASA are working together to continue the lie that the Earth is round. I don't want to, again, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Where do they think these pictures from space come from?
They think they're all doctored. My question would be, you always say look to who will benefit, and that's where the truth lies. Why would the government and NASA lie to us about this? What benefit is this? It's a weird thing, but when you talk about people that are benefiting, you talk about all these people that now have 800,000 YouTube subscribers, people that throw conventions and are now famous from this. They're making money from propagating something that they know is fundamentally not true. Unless you think that our astronauts are lying. If you think every astronaut we sent is a lie, then you fall into a lot of conspiracies. And if that's what you believe, I'm starting to learn that I should allow you to believe that.
But I don't know, I have so many questions.
It hurts.
If you fly in an airplane and continue to go west, and then you continue to go west and get back home, how do you feel that it's flat? Wouldn't you just fly into space?
Yeah, I don't get that. That's
all right. We'll talk about it at the break.
They haven't worked out all the kinks.
We'll be right back. Yeah, I said it.
This Thursday on Daily Blast Live.
Team, on your mark, get set, go!
Our hosts are getting savage in the wild for the ultimate camping competition.
We're going to be in trouble.
Hosted by Amazing Race and Survivor star Corinne Kaplan.
Go! Challenge on! This way.
Who will brave the elements?
We're going right over there. Go over
and
there.
who will crash?
I feel miserable. I feel sick. I feel angry.
Don't miss Fully Clothed and Afraid. This Thursday on DBL.
Yeah. Okay, so listen, if there's conventions about flat earthers, I mean, people have to be onto something here. If any of you are a flat earther out there, please write in while I'm talking. I just gave that example of flying west, and you're going to get back home if you keep flying west. If the way you're thinking is that if our Earth is flat, like this table, eventually you will be able to fall off the Earth, is what I'm guessing, right? There's somewhere where it comes to an end.
I don't get how they explain that, but just saying that we just keep making an oval and we never... I don't understand like how they...
But if you just take it as a shape, you know what I'm saying? There has to be an end to this shape, what you think is the Earth. If it's round, it continues to go.
I think that they're saying that airplanes are just like, almost like an ice rink. They're just going around in a circle.
Oh, like a Zamboni?
Right, and so they never, no one ever looks to the right and sees space out there that's kind of...
I don't know, because I'm all for good conspiracy theory, but I don't think this is one I could get behind.
Jeff, I'll tell you, I am so jealous of conspiracy theorists because they take life and just make it, think about it like you're just walking down the street, but if you're a conspiracy theorist, you're like, the government's in that post office right there. And when you get your food, the government, there's a robot in there that's making this to make me think that this. They think everything's a conspiracy.
Did you ever see Conspiracy Theory with Mel Gibson?
So your whole life is
that
just super exciting. The government's out to get you. The government wants you to be healthy and pay your taxes. No, they don't want anything else from you.
I
know it.
They
do
want that.
Why would the government want anything else from you?
Your first thought, when you said, follow the money, or with the benefit and the money, that's where the benefit lies. I believe in that. I think that people are so, whether they believe it or not, stuck in their convictions based on making money by taking the path of least resistance, and that's how these things start up.
I'm with you there.
I could say anything and be like, this is what I believe, and I could probably get some people to believe it with me.
You could tell people you're...
Thanks, guys. Word is sunscreen.
Welcome back to DBL. Wedding planning can be stressful, and when you're on a budget, it can be even more challenging. That's why DBL teamed up with wedding planner Kristen Wilkins from the We Tie the Knot to help senior supervising producer Patty and her fiance Tom plan the wedding of their dreams.
We've been dating for 10 years.
Until I finally asked on Valentine's Day her to marry me.
I founded We Tie the Knots in 2011, so this is our 8th year of planning luxury high-end weddings all over Colorado and across the country.
The average wedding costs $37,000.
Yeah, it's money well spent. Great. Excellent.
I'm really excited to meet with Patty and Tom today because I really believe my experience in the high-end luxury market here in Colorado will actually help me give them some insider tips on how to save money for their wedding. So I brought you guys to Great Humphreys Mansion today to talk through affordable venue options. This particular mansion has everything you guys need. It comes with chairs, tables, sound, lighting, all included, and that's really gonna save you guys a lot of money in the long run. Another great affordable option that you could consider as well is a backyard wedding. A really great way to maximize your budget and really have the fun party that you want without the restrictions that a venue might put on you. I know you have a lot to think about, but I hope the next time I see you, you're hungry because we're gonna be talking about food.
We decided on a venue. It's very exciting.
So my number one concern now after having the venue is keeping everything within our budget.
But also that it's going to be the day that we always remembered.
And also the day that we always will remember.
Hey guys, so good to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Congrats on getting your venue. We've used about a quarter of our budget, and that's also why I brought you to our food truck rally today. A lot of caterers can charge anywhere from $60 to $150 a person. These guys will get you closer to $30 a person.
Excellent.
They're kind of cool. They look really funky and it's different, and I think it'll like make up for the fact that people have to throw away their own plates.
Thank you.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Already found the dessert?
Yes.
Well, that's great because that was next on my list to talk to you guys. I think if you guys aren't totally set on that picture moment, then let's think about some other dessert options for your guests.
What about booze?
You don't have to offer an entire stocked bar with every liquor available.
Okay.
You can really limit it to this 2 or 3 signature cocktails that are some of your favorites. All right, well, I'm really excited that we've conquered your venue. I think we're pretty close on making some decisions with food. Next up, we need the internet.
All right.
All right, y'all, it's time to get down to the nitty gritty. With the venue and food lockdown, we've got a little bit less than half your budget to work with.
Okay.
So no longer do you have to buy every single thing you want to wear on your wedding day. There's really great sites out there like Rent the Runway and Happily Ever Borrowed. There's a lot of great menswear rental sites as well. One of my favorites is the Black Tux. They have everything from suits to tuxedos and a lot of really fun high fashion looks in between. And they really are one of the most affordable too.
Thank you so much. I actually feel like we can actually do this now, so we really
Yeah.
appreciate it. I also think that we are gonna save a lot of money because of Kristen's help, and we can take all that savings and,
Put it in a retirement fund.
okay, I was gonna say honeymoon,
Invest it in the stock market.
agree to disagree.
Hi DBL Nation, how are you guys doing? Weather is still beautiful here on this Tuesday, and well, it's a weekday, so a lot of kids are in school, and so I'm actually going to discuss 4-day school weeks. How do you guys feel about that? So 2 districts in Texas, and I should note that these are smaller school districts with less than 200 students, have moved to 4-day school weeks. Now, one school district has chosen to make Friday an optional day for students, and another school district has chosen to make Monday an optional day for students. And yeah, so this is really interesting. I think from a kid's point of view, of course, you're like, oh, only 4 days of school instead of 5. That's awesome. But in reality, the school districts have said that moving to 4-day weeks has helped their teachers have more prep time, have helped them work more one-on-one with students during that optional day. One of the school districts actually said that 70% of its students still do go to that school on the optional day. And I think that is rather interesting, because if you eliminate a school day, how will that affect parents who have to go to work during the days? Because the work week is still 5 days. So I think that kind of plays hand in hand, that school day weeks and work day weeks. I think it's interesting. I think there needs to be a conversation there, because would you, if it was a much bigger school district with thousands and thousands of students, would they think about moving to a 4-day job work week to accommodate a 4-day school work week? Because again, most students, me included, had parents that worked full-time growing up, and so school was definitely a way. And I would stay after school a little bit later until my parents got off work. So I think it is rather interesting. But definitely the schools have seen positives, and they've seen it working out for them. Test scores have risen. So yeah, it's a rather interesting concept, and I don't know if it would work in a school district with thousands and thousands of students. Again, these school districts 2 of them in Texas that are doing the 4-day week have less than 200 students. So I definitely would wonder, and I would like to see it happen, and I would like to see a school district take that plunge in more of these city school districts where there are just thousands and thousands of students. I would like to see them take that plunge and offer up a 4-day week. Because as it shows, just because you're essentially making 1 day of school optional, these 2 school districts have shown that students will still go to school, and parents, again, still depend on school as a way for not only for their children to learn and grow and mature, but to allow them to go to work and hopefully not have to worry about them. So yeah, let me know what you think, DBL Nation. I'll catch you guys later. See ya.
Welcome back to DBL. A lot of people online are writing in now about our Fully Clothed and Afraid challenge. We can't give away any spoilers, but I'm telling you guys, do not miss Thursday's show. It's pretty good. Look at that.
Yeah, and none of this was staged.
No.
And I was going into this hoping all of it was staged.
Yes.
It was very shocking.
It was the real deal. There's some great competition. It got really cold, and I never felt like I was back on reality TV more than I did last week.
Real.
It was
I'm
terrific.
impressed with you guys.
Don't miss Thursday's show. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Tori's doing fine. We'll see you guys. Bye.